Hammer game. Cause we always hit the nail on the head. Tonight, we're gonna have a good show. Let me give you guys a little time to get up in here. Let me check out who's in the chat. Pull up a couple things real quick. We're gonna get this thing started right away tonight. Make sure everything's on point. If you're in the chat right now, let me know if you can hear me loud and clear. Is everything clear? Audio clear? Let me know in the chat if everything's clear. Can you hear me? Can you see me? You know, let me know. Let me see. All right, so I want to give a shout out and a special thank you to Norman. First things first, you know, the show hasn't even started yet. And when I came on, I see that he gave a $10 donation. So thank you, Norman, for that. Really appreciate it. You know, that helps out the channel a lot, and it goes a long way. Appreciate that, boss. And as you guys know, that's a touchdown for the channel. So let me get that up for you, Norman. Appreciate that, boss. Thank you for that. That's a touchdown for the channel, and that's a touchdown for the Canes. Let's go. Appreciate you, Norman. All right, so Pope in the building. What's going on with your Pope? Big T2I, big money getting donations and that stimulus check. Still haven't gotten any stimulus check, but thank you, Norman, for the donation. Let me see. Lee, what's up, T2I? Looking for an energetic show tonight. My breakout player is Rambo. I expect better O-line play. Okay. Rambo definitely one of those guys we're going to talk about tonight. Kane Zay, what's going on with your boss? How you doing, man? That big crystal. Okay, perfect. All right. So everybody can hear me perfectly, can see me perfectly. And Maiden Date in the building, what's going on with you? Bahamas, what's going on with you? Okay, so if you're already in here, you know, go ahead and hit that like button. We got Leek Smith, what's going on? He say go Seminoles, go FSU. Hey, you know, I can't tell you who to follow, man. I know Miami gonna lead you to victory. I don't know where FSU gonna take you, but okay. But anyway, man, glad to see you in here, boss. So spring practices. Spring has took off. You know, this is their third one in. Today was their third one in. You know, the press conferences are coming out. The little 2-minute clips, they coming out. So us as fans, really, we can't really make too much judgment. We can only go off what we're hearing. And basically, you know, from the players' interviews, that's all we get. We're getting a 2-minute clip, and then we're getting little interviews. So as fans, you know, it's tough. In the past, we was able to go to the practices, you know, view these kind of things, you know, make some evaluations of our own. The COVID-19 thing has thrown a whole loop in all of that. So right now we can only trust coaches and stuff like that. So you know how frustrating that could be, because half of us do believe that half the talent that is put on the field, the best talent is probably sitting on the bench. But hold on, let me see. Demetrius in the building. What's going on with you, boss? What up, T2Y? You doing all right? Yeah, boss. Doing good, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate you for asking. Hope you're doing good too. How the Kane D-line and O-line looking in spring? Well, your guess and my guess would be the same, because all we're getting is 2-minute clips. 2-minute clips, and most of it you don't get to focus on nobody. You see a couple passes here and there from Tyler Van Dyke. You see a couple catches. You see a couple here and there of every position. So we can't really tell what's going on in practice. That's the honest truth. We can't really tell. We can only go off what players are saying in interviews. Let's start off with quarterback. Hold on. Let me make sure everybody in here. All right. Mantra in the building. What's going on with you? Is Miami in the tournament? No, we're not in the tournament. Thank you for asking. Montre is a FSU fan, so of course, Florida State is in the basketball tournament, but we're talking about football, so Florida State is irrelevant right now. So, anyways, man. So Tyler Van Dyke. Now we see a couple passes from him in little clips where he's on the run, rolling out, being mobile, throwing the ball, hitting the receivers, throwing darts. Okay, that's 2 or 3 clips we've seen. Now from the players in the interviews, they're saying, "Hey, he looks like he knows what he's doing. Looks like he's quarterback number 1." He's getting a lot of praise basically. Don Chaney even said in the interview that basically, he looked like he learned the playbook faster than anybody else. He looks more developed too, just a little bit more than Jay Garcia at the moment. But Jay Garcia, from what I'm hearing, his practices are limited because of a foot injury that they're taking care of. So he's still at practice, getting reps, throwing the ball, doing the here and there, but just limited, not pushing it too much. They're trying to let that foot heal. It's still a competition, guys. Tyler Van Dyke has not been named quarterback number 2 because, as y'all already know, if the Deriq King come back today, he's quarterback number 1. It is what it is. It's quarterback number 1. So if Deriq King is ready to go for Alabama, he will be quarterback number 1. That's no question. The backup position is what they're going for right now. So Tyler Van Dyke, Matoka. Those are our options right now. Those are the options. Now, I haven't seen much from Matoka. Like I said, these are 2-minute clips they're giving us, which, by the way, I put in the community today that basically the Florida Gators, they got their YouTube channel or whatever where they do their own little thing, but they got like episodes, 19 minutes videos showing practice, talking to coaches and stuff like that, talking to players and stuff while practices are going on and stuff. So you kind of see a full in-depth of what's going on with them. And I'm like, man, Kane's All Access. They get all the access to making the films, to making whatever it is, those little clips that we see. And we get a 2-minute clips while these guys get episodes. Now, imagine if we could go behind the scenes like that. Kane's All Access. I'm just saying, step y'all game up. We want to see more than these 2-minute clips. That's all I'm saying. But back to the quarterback situation. So now a lot of the fans are already jumping on the Tyler Van Dyke band. They're going crazy. Tyler Van Dyke look like he's supposed to be starting right now. Calm down. Tyler Van Dyke is looking great. He's looking good. But this has only been 1 or 2 practices. This is 1 or 2 practices. Calm down and let the guy develop. Let this competition play out. We're already starting to pick starters, and we haven't seen anything. Calm down, relax. Don't just name the guy the starter. Like I said, I'm pro Garcia, but I want the best talent on the field, regardless if it's Garcia or Van Dyke. If Van Dyke outshines Garcia, I'm going with Van Dyke. It is what it is. I'm pro Garcia because I like Garcia's attitude and mentality, and I think that he got that Kane swag. That's it. But nonetheless, man, we got to stop. We got to stop as fans. We got to stop crowning these guys after 2 practices. It's too early for that, man. We see the guy throw 2 balls and that's my quarterback. We don't turn into Terrell Owens. That's my quarterback. Slow down. Let practice. Let the spring game. Okay, speaking of spring game, that'll be on April 17, 11 a.m. ACC Network. So the spring game will be televised. All the ACC games will be televised. I actually got the list of all the games and what time, for the ACC. So I'll run through that real quick with you guys. So ACC spring game, March 27, 10 a.m., Duke. March 27, 10 a.m., Duke. This is on ACC Network. Then you have Clemson April 3rd at 1 p.m. ACC Network. NC State April 10th, 1 p.m. ACC Network. Florida State April 10th at 5 o'clock. ACC Network. April 17th, my spring game will be on at 11 a.m. No fans for Miami, by the way. At this moment, no fans. So we will be able to see it on the ACC Network. Well, we will not be in the stands, and the game will be played at Hard Rock Stadium. So April 17th, same day, at 1 p.m. Pitt. So Pitt will be playing. Georgia Tech will play on April 23rd at 6 p.m. That's on the ACC Network. All the games are on the ACC Network. Boston College, April 24th. The time is to be announced. They haven't come up with a time yet. And last but not least, North Carolina, April 24th at 3 p.m. So those are the times for the ACC to basically, put out the games. And those games will be televised on the ACC Network. So spring games are happening, but as fans, we will not be able to be in the stands, unfortunately. So nonetheless, we get a visual from home so we can see what's going on the field. We can check out the players based on whatever camera angle we get. CJ Keynes, I see you in the chat. I just put the link in the chat for you to come on in. So, all right. So on the side of me right here, you guys see 2021 schedule. 2021 schedule. Those are the home games. So this is from the Miami Hurricanes official website. So, yo, what's going on, CJ?
What up, T?
All right. So this is from the Miami Hurricanes website. So as you guys can see, September 11, Appalachian State. I will be at that game. I have tickets for that. No, I will be at that one already. I already got tickets for that one. I didn't get the season tickets this season because I don't know what my schedule is looking like. Plus, I got 4 kids. So, nonetheless, after that, we got at home, Michigan State. Then we got CCGU, which I've never heard of them until they popped up on our schedule. I'm pretty sure most of y'all probably never heard of them either. Then we got Virginia at home. We got North Carolina at home, Georgia Tech at home, Virginia Tech at home. So those are our home games. We got 7 home games. 7 home games, 5 away games. You guys, so, all right, but that's not the reason I brought this up here. The reason I brought this up here because we want to take a look at the depth chart, and we want to break it down by position. So I clicked on the position. As you can see, the first position came up is wide receivers. Wide receivers. Starting with Mike Harley at the top. So what's going on with you, CJ?
Man, I'm just ready to see all these conversations about the quarterback. I see Manny Diaz is happy about the competition at wide receiver for the freshmen and the lower classmen. He's very confident in the other wide receivers, other than the other starters that we've been starting, dropping the ball. What up, everybody in the chat, man?
Yeah,
I just had to say that because everybody said what's up.
Yeah, what's going on with y'all? How y'all doing today, man?
But yeah, it's a lot of hype for no reason right now because we ain't seen what nobody can do right now. I mean, because I think I dropped a video or whatever, and we got practice warriors. They show up for practice, but when it comes to game time, they come up missing. I mean, I understand TVD might be showing that in practice, but when it comes to game time, we got to see what he's gonna do in game time.
All right. So basically, you guys know we got about 12 wide receivers on deck right now. Just to name a few, they're right here on the screen, by the way, and the numbers on the side for those of you. Hold on, let me move the comment out of the way so everybody can see it perfectly. Okay, so number 3, Mike Harley. Now most of us are expecting Mike Harley to start this season. He had the best season of all the wide receivers last year, hands down. Nobody can, that's not even really up for debate. Then you have Keyshawn Smith. I've been hearing some good things about him in practice, but then again, it's just practice. So far, we haven't seen nothing. It's just we hearing things. Mark Pope, Xavier, D. Wiggins, Charleston Rambo, Jeremiah Payton, Marshall Few. We got a guy named Dante Johnson, Willie Huggins, and I'm telling you, the list goes on for wide receivers. Michael Redden, Worsham. Did I make sure I didn't miss anybody?
So we got like 1,000 wide receivers and shit. Okay.
Yeah, so we got basically 12 wide receivers.
What up, Rose? What up, Bahamas?
My question is, not to mention the guys that's not even listed yet, because we got Romello Branson and all those other guys. I'm not sure why they haven't updated this yet, but nonetheless, we got Romello Branson, we got Rashard Smith, we got this class that came in also. So this list is kind of not all the way up to date. This is basically coming off of last year.
It's kind of insane to me because at the end of the day, I'm still gonna say the same thing over again. Wiggins and Pope need to transition to defensive back. We got so many wide receivers we can afford to lose to, just for depth purposes only.
Now, I want to have your opinion, and I want everybody in the chat to put down the 3 wide receiver that they think is going to emerge as starters. 3 wide receivers that you think going to emerge as starters.
You already know. I already like that boy Restro already. Jeremiah Payton and Smith. Especially, I put a star on Smith's name. Smith and
Now my question is starting, right? Coming out of spring, going into Alabama, who are the 3 starters you thinking coming out?
Am I looking at it from Manny perspective, or am I looking from mine?
From your perspective.
Smith, Restro, and Payton. And ART, I know they sold. I know that Jackson State and Alabama State game is sold out. I heard about it.
So you're thinking we're gonna have 3 total different starters?
From my perspective, yeah. But if Manny is being Manny, it'll be Mike Harley, it'll be Wiggins, and it'll be Pope. And they just rotate Pope and Wiggins out with Smith and Payton, like they did before.
Nah, my list is my 3 is totally different, way different. I got Mike Harley, of course.
Right.
Charleston Rambo, number 2. And then the 3rd spot will be a battle. I think that's going to be a battle. I don't think it's going to be D. Wiggins. I think it's going to be either Mark Pope, Jeremiah Payton, Keyshawn Smith, or Michael Redden. Those who I think going to fill in that 3rd spot.
Oh, dang, I forgot all about Redden. Okay, I got to change it. I forgot about Redden. It's going to be Smith, Redden, and Payton. And they're going to rotate Restro in. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think the competition is going to be really based on Keyshawn Smith, Jeremiah Payton, Redden, and Mark Pope for that 3rd starting position. Now, if Manny's being Manny, Mark Pope is probably going to get the nod to go. He's got the experience, seniority, whatever you want to call it. So,
Man, they almost cursed on the channel. But after that seniority crap, Alabama State quarterback is a freshman. But that seniority thing need to go out the window.
So I agree with you totally.
They need to go out the window, man.
Totally. I think if we're going to be a winning program, We got to put the best talent on the field at all time to give us the best chance to win every single ball game. If they want to see those other guys, start blowing some teams out.
Wait, okay, so ART, you said Rambo is legit, right? But you said that he ran for competition because underclassmen beat him.
I'm with you on that on beast mode. I'm tired of the senior crap or whatever. I understand you want to give these guys, a chance to build a tape so they could go to the next level, so they could have something for the NFL Combine. I understand it, but when it comes down to it, this is Miami. This is not the NFL. Put the right talent on the field at all time.
Hold on, wait, T2, pump your brakes. Go to Kane Juice 305. He said Miami will beat Alabama.
Hey man, listen, we got the Canes family is divided right now. It's plain and simple. It's divided. We got some Canes fans that believe we can beat Alabama. We got some Canes fans that believe we're gonna get beat. We got Canes fans that think we're gonna get beat, not just beaten, we're gonna get blown out. Then we got some Canes fans that they just want the game to be close. If we lose and it's close and it's a close game, they feel a little bit better. I want to win.
What's the probability that you think that we will win that game? Honestly,
20.
Oh, you ain't even gotta give the probability. You can just be like, it's up in the air, really, because they got a freshman quarterback, and we'll have pretty much a freshman quarterback.
Put it like this: Alabama is coming off maybe 10 years now of pure recruiting, top classes, and as you can see, year in and year out, they actually reload. It's not, go in there and recruit, get some guys to fill in. So they reload. They got backups that could start. So I'm not expecting nothing less from Alabama than a full out brawl from them from the game beginning. I think if Miami go into this game, they got to be 100% prepared. Penalties, all them unnecessary penalties that's always called on us, we got to be disciplined. We can't have those, or that they gonna run away with the game on us.
Okay, I'm gonna put it like this. Oh yeah, okay, all right. ART, yeah, okay, I got you. But what I feel like this, ART said put some money on Cane Juice. What I feel like is this, because at the beginning of the season, Alabama last season, at the beginning of their season, they were rusty. Okay, now we're gonna be rusty too. We got a freshman. We're gonna have pretty much a freshman. I can say a freshman quarterback, but their experience is gonna be like freshman, and their defense is gonna be rusty. They got to see how their defense gonna play against another team, just like we got to see another team. So I really think he's up in the air. I don't think it's just gonna be an automatic just shutdown game. I think it's just gonna be up in the air. Who's gonna pull it out in the second half? That's how I see it. It's whoever pull it out in the second half. If Alabama come out with that same mentality and that quarterback can do what Jones did last season, put the ball on the money, then I had no choice but to agree. If they had number 6 for last season, I must agree they're gonna shut us out. But I don't know who their star wide receiver is. They got to get somebody else in there new to do that. They got to have another running back that can prove himself. Ain't none of them proven themselves yet. That's how Nick Saban looks at it. Ain't nobody proven themselves yet. So we got to see how that game gonna go. I mean, of course we're gonna sit there and think we're gonna lose to look at our past 2 seasons. But you never know. If Manny Diaz just do his thing on defense and Lashley do his thing on offense, and we get a quarterback that can get the ball there and scramble when needed to, then after that we might be working with a little something. We don't know. Don't know. I'm not drinking no Kool-Aid, but we don't know. That's an up in the air game because it's the first game of the week for us. Same with them.
Now, King of Battle said, did Wiggins put on weight this year? I haven't heard anything yet on his weight, but I know a couple players that have put on 10 pounds. I don't have their name on me exactly right now, but I've seen where a couple of the players said that they put on 10 pounds. 10 pounds of muscles. So some of those guys did pick up some weight. Now, also, we got another question from Montreal. He said, "Do y'all think they rushing King to play?"
Yes, definitely. I feel like they're going to end up putting. What up, Pope? I feel like they're going to put him in a bad situation because not they ain't gonna put him in a bad situation. I feel like he's gonna put himself in a bad situation. So I think, and don't get me mistaken, Capote, Pope, no, Francois had the same, or I ain't gonna say same injury, but somewhat same in the leg injury, and he came back and when they played Alabama, it was over for Francois. He got injured because one of them big boys laid on him. So I think he rushing back too fast. He need to take his time.
Hmm. Me personally, I think from what I'm hearing from them, and I can only go by what I'm hearing from them.
All right.
King is on pace to be back. He's breaking records if it when you look at that injury and recovery and all that. That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if they're rushing him to come back or anything like that. I'm pretty sure nobody's pressuring King to come back. If King come back early, I think that's him. I think that's on him.
Yeah.
If he's not at 100%, I don't think Manny and the coaching staff is going to put him out there. It's not
No.
going to be the best interest for him, and definitely ain't going to be the best interest for the team. So I don't think they'll rush him back. If he does rush back, I think that'll be a King decision.
I feel
But
like
I'm pretty sure if the coaches evaluate him before his return and they see that he's not 100%, I don't think they'll do it.
they if he comes back on his own, rush back on his own, and he wants to play, and they let him play, I feel like how they did Lingard. You remember how they did Lingard when they set him down because they were looking out for him. I feel like they should do the same thing for King. If they really care about that boy, they want to look out for him. Sit him out for a while. But other than that, if you let him play, that tells that you really don't care. As long as you just get the win out of him, you don't really care about him as an individual.
Now, me personally, for King, like I said, it's a knee injury. We understand. If he's 100% and he wants to play, play. If he's ready to go, he looks good, let him play. Now, you got to keep in mind too. This is King's last year. This is his final moment. He got to impress NFL draft guys. He got to impress scouts, all of them. If he wants to be in the league, this is his last chance. So when it comes down to it, like I said, I think the coach is going to evaluate him, and if he's ready to go, they're going to put him in. If they don't feel he's ready, they're not going to put him in. That's how I feel, but that's just me. Now, I was I was trying to do a little breakdown, but apparently they have not updated their roster yet. So, as you guys know, 2021 we reached into the transfer portal and basically grabbed Cody Brown, running back, 4-star, originally committed and signed a letter of intent to Tennessee. But, with the whole fiasco going on at Tennessee, paying players the McDonald's bag, Pure got fired, you name it. The whole coaching staff is up for toss up, whatever. Players like that are in the transfer portal from Tennessee. We got linebackers, we got cornerbacks, you name it. Tennessee got it all. All their best guys are in the transfer portal. Now, from what I'm hearing too, is Manny wants to actually go into the transfer portal. We already pulled the running back out. I'm hearing that he's going to go in there for 4 other guys. Key position of target, cornerback, and linebackers. As you guys know, we need some depth in linebackers and we need some depth in cornerback, especially cornerbacks.
I already saw that problem, but nobody hear me though. Nobody hear me though. Hey, Bahamas. Hey, Deshaun Watson is a different quarter. He's a quarterback. Okay, he doesn't use his legs as much as King does. That's how he was able to continue to play like that because he used his arm more than he did his leg. He did scramble, but he didn't scramble as much as King does.
Okay, now if King does come back, do we see the same quarterback that we seen last season?
No. What up, Nick?
That's going to run when the pressure gets tough. Is he going to run or is he going to be your more? I want to say I don't want to say scared because that injury could really mess with you mentally. Is he gonna be that same king that when it comes down to it, he's gonna take off and run, thoughtlessly?
Well, I'll put it like this. He was already he was doing a great job running. He was doing a decent job throwing. Now he's finna do a horrible job running. And now he's finna probably be doing bad at throwing because you have to have that leg and be confident in your leg because that's where you push your foot. That's why they tell you to push off with your foot. Set your feet to throw. If you can't set your feet to throw, you got pain. You gonna release that ball kind of nasty, man. So I think he's gonna come back. He's not gonna help his draft stock.
Well, right now it's early. It's only March. We got time. King won't be doing any spring practice, so we can't make no evaluations on that. It is what it is. If he come back in time and he's 100%, I'm pretty sure we'll see him start against Alabama. If not, Tyler Van Dyke, Jay Garcia, or Matoka. So that's the next question. None of these guys we've seen do anything college-wise. We just seen Jay Garcia come out of high school with a state ring, with a state championship. We could look at his tape and say, okay, he's solid, but now this is college league we're talking about. This is top speed. This is a whole different ball game. These are guys that have some experience, especially at Alabama. They will be coached up. Trust me, Nick Saban will have that team ready. So I think Miami, quarterback wise, we got three guys other than King that we gotta truly evaluate. We got to really evaluate these guys because one of these guys could start that first game.
I just feel like this. Oh, what's up, brother Jay Blaze, King of Battle, Kane Zay. Oh, and Montre, yeah, he need his leg. Corona. But
oh man. I can't believe you just said Corona. Oh man. Okay, so back to what you were saying about King and his leg. All right, CJ went out. I guess he got to laugh it off.
Shit. Oh, but anyway, yeah, like I was saying, King does have to have his legs. That would make him the quarterback that he is, or athlete that he is. But other than that, yeah, might as well let TVD or Garcia start.
So why are you skipping over Matoka?
Who?
Matoka.
Who?
Peyton Matoka.
We talking about practice?
Okay. Why are you skipping over this guy, man?
We talking about practice?
How you guys in the chat? How do you guys feel about Matoka compared to Jay Garcia, Tyler Van Dyke? How do you guys feel about Matoka? I know we haven't seen much from any of these quarterbacks that I just list, but how do you guys feel about Matoka? Because a lot of people is just writing him off. They're going straight Tyler Van Dyke or Jake Garcia.
We write him off like a bad bounce check.
Where is the Matoka will not be the next guy up? Where is that assumption coming from?
Man, Matoka is not even he's not even being seen right now, man. Sorry.
Okay, so brother Jay Blaze got a bold prediction for the wide receivers starting. He goes Harley, Keyshawn Smith. Well, he said Smith. Is it Rashard Smith or Keyshawn Smith? I'm guessing you're going with Keyshawn. And Rambo. So I mean, I'm in that ballpark with him. I think it's going to be either Keyshawn Smith, Mark Pope, Michael Redden, or Jeremiah Payton.
I think all of them gonna get in regardless because they're gonna have different packages. So I think all of them will get in regardless.
Yeah, most definitely. They'll have a lot rotation wise.
Yeah.
But those two names, Harley and Rambo, I think those two stick when it comes to starters at least.
Well, you gonna ask the question about Matoka. Everybody tell you what they think about Matoka. I don't think Matoka plays here seems like a really good young man, but I think he bounces after this year. He said he should have bounced. He should have bounced last year.
Now, do y'all think Matoka is getting a fair chance? Not just with the team, but with the fans. Do y'all think he's getting a fair chance? Because a lot of us have not seen any practices. We hadn't seen anything that's going on. So why is he being written off?
Why is he being written in?
Why is he it's not even being. It's not that he's even being written in because nobody's writing them in. Nobody's saying Matoka. I haven't seen
Man,
anybody said Matoka.
what did first of all?
I've seen Van Dyke. I've never seen somebody say Matoka starts.
Where did Matoka come from? I don't even know where this guy even came from. Yeah.
Norman says Matoka doesn't have a good skill set. Watch his highlight.
Exactly.
Okay. Bergie's going Harley, Smith, and Redding. So no Charleston Rambo.
Bro, I'm not even looking. I ain't gonna lie to you. I would use Rambo in like a slant thing or something, man, because he got speed. But other than that, like he's not my first guy. What up, David Scoofer? Scoffer? My bad. I ain't trying to butcher your name.
The battle says that Matoka's tape is impressive.
Who?
Matoka.
Oh.
All right. Sometime during the show, when we get through all the talk, we're gonna pull up Matoka's tape.
The Norris, what happened?
The Norris, what's going on with you, boss?
I'm just tired of hearing them talk about some practice and spring game and hey man, show me in the game. Hey, but look, this is what I said before too, is that we sit here and we get all these little hype videos. We get all these practice videos, little snippet videos. We get the spring game snippet videos. They ain't nothing but hype videos to get us food. Do not get food, people. Do not get food. Because one thing about it is that when the game comes up and y'all see the same people y'all sit there thinking that's gonna show out, they play against Alabama and they dropping balls, missing blocks, missing passes, or just horrible on defense. So just wait till the game comes because it's not the same like it used to be when Michael Irvin them were playing or Sonoris Moss and them when they used to practice off the field or whatever. Well, not Sonoris Moss, Antonio Moss and whatever. They don't practice on their own. Okay, they just show out for the coaches to get the starter position. They don't do that. They don't keep that same energy when they ain't around the coaches. We already know that now. So don't get hyped up over it because we got to see this on the field. Game time.
Okay. So talk about a position that I feel like we're a lot more solid in. The running back position. You got Cameron Harris. You got Jalen Knighton, who has been fully set to go. He's recovered. He's good. Full speed ahead.
Rooster in the building. Dog life.
Don Chaney and coming into the summertime, we'll get Cody Brown. So we'll have 4 running backs. Now, as you guys already know, Robert Burns hit the portal. He's out. He's not in no more. He's no longer a part of the conversation. How do you feel about that? You know, Cameron Harris, Don Chaney, and Jalen at the moment.
Yeah, I see you made today, but I ain't got no complaints about the running backs. I ain't got no complaints about the running back. However, they can put this person here, they can do whatever they want with them because you know why? We got a stable. I don't care how they put them.
Now, Cameron Harris, what improvement do you want to see from him coming from last season to this?
Cam just gotta be Cam. He can't play through an injury well, my bad, he didn't have an injury. But he needs to go ahead and just do his thing and shut up. Because as long as he keeps talking, he's gonna make himself look bad to the NFL scout. So he just need to play.
Maiden Day. Yeah, my apologies, guys. I forgot to mention Ted Franklin. Ted Franklin. I'm sorry. That's another running back. So, like I said, I feel good with the running backs that we got. I do think most of the snaps will go to Cameron Harris, Don Chaney, and Jalen, and I think the other guys will work their way in. Ted Franklin and Cody Brown. So I think Cam, gets the starts. I think Don Chaney and Jalen Knight, they rotate in behind him, and depending on how the game is going, I think we get a little bit from Ted Franklin, and we might get to see some Cody Brown also. But
Hey, what you call? Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
But the three that I do see is the three from last season. They had pretty solid games last season. Now, me personally, what I want to see from Cam, I want to see thoughtless running, because a lot of times when he get the ball, sometimes I do think he thinks a little too much. I think he just need to run the ball instinctively. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh, T2, I trying to use these big words. Anyway, look, let me tell you something. Bahamas, let me tell you something, Bahamas. Matoka name does sound like a Starbucks or a kicker. He said Matoka is disliked because his name doesn't sound like a quarterback, more like a kicker or a Starbucks drink. 36. Yeah, his name does sound like that. ART, you said all three UGA running backs will be drafted in 2022. How much was they paid to come there? Anyway, Beast Mode, you said we need O-line to play better. Listen, man, I ain't gonna say the O-line didn't play horrible. They didn't play bad, but they played pretty decent. I think they played pretty decent. I don't think they really. I don't think they did like they did when we played against Florida. Okay, it was horrible. Zion was getting killed. Now that's bad. But you cannot say like that season that we didn't look pretty decent last season. What up, Florida King?
So we got Scafey. We got Cleveland Reed, Ja'Kai Clark, Isaiah Walker, Navon Donaldson, Herbert. We got Zion Nelson. With Zion Nelson, by the way, is not. He's not what you call it. He's not going to be practicing spring. I heard he got a shoulder injury, so I'm not quite sure how that's going to go. Hopefully, he'll be ready for the season, but right now he's not practicing.
Oh, what's up, James Welford, Jeffrey Francis? Oh, new member to the channel, T2Y Cane Juice 305.
Oh man, appreciate that, Cane Juice. That's a touchdown for the channel boss. Appreciate that.
Now, Beast Mode, I get you. Okay, let me. This is one thing I get tired of. I ain't gonna say tired of hearing, but this is one thing that people don't understand. Kane gang or no gang, let's go. That's right, Kane Juice. One thing I gotta say to you, Beast Mode, about that run blocking. You have to understand that defenses know King is gonna run. So all they're gonna do is sit there and stack their box. So if they got 2 extra people coming on, and it's nothing but 5 people on that line, the only way we can help is get a 6th person, which would be the tight end. But that still leaves 1 person to come through that gap. So at the end of the day, the old line can only block so much.
All right. So returning also, we got Jared Williams. As you know, he came in last season out of transfer portal from Houston. Did a solid job this year. He's coming back for this season. So Jalen Rivers, Corey Gaynor, Osman. Like I said, we got depth. We got plenty.
Yeah.
Ron Campbell, you name it. We got depth. And we got
you also got to. You brought it up to you two, and they got all of them has experience. All of them has experience.
So yeah, this season our O-line, we got experience. Experience is not a question right now. Off subject, but Kane Juice 305, he had sent me a link to a video. I think it had something to do with the whole Alabama and Georgia paying players and stuff. When I clicked on it, the video was down. They must have killed it. But nonetheless, I didn't get to see the video. Cane Juice 305. They shut it down. Whatever video that was, I don't know if YouTube took it down or what happened to it, but I didn't get to see it. But like I said, O-line though, we got experience. We got guys with experience. They're not the same guys that we're gonna see from 2 years ago. Hopefully, it's not what we're seeing from 2 years ago or even a year ago. Hopefully, we made improvement. Hopefully, these guys step it up this season. We got the depth that we need. There's plenty of O-line. There's plenty of experience. So hopefully, these guys step it up and get it done. Hold on. Florida Cane. Donaldson stay hurt. He has NFL potential. Yeah, hopefully we can keep him healthy this season. Hopefully we can get a full season out of him. I think he does start. I think he do. But if he stays healthy, I think we're better off, that way. But Concrete 1K in the building. Concrete, I'm not sure where you at right now, but if you want to come in on the discussion, just let me know and I'll put the link in the chat for you. If you want to get in on the discussion, just let me know in the chat.
Concrete ART donated $5.
Once the pad goes on, you'll figure out the pads are on right now. They're already in pads. Today they put on them pads, so it is what it is. You're getting started early.
Man,
You'll figure out who's ready to make plays in the run game. Right.
All right, T2Y. So just because you in practice, you know your teammate, so you know who you can whoop on, who you can't. But once some pads come on and they start playing in them games, you'll know what you're dealing with. A real game, not no spring game, or a real game.
Now, I know Sergeant AR-10 is not a Miami fan, but he gonna get the Miami treatment anyway. Hey, appreciate that, boss. I ain't got no Georgia Bulldog stuff for you, man, but appreciate that. And as you know, it's all about the youth. So, personally, the pads are on. They are on. So tackling is going to start pretty soon. My thing is, I want to see the O-line blocking. That's what I want to see. Out of the whole spring, I want to see the O-line in action. If I could pick a position to see in action, it would be the O-line. Now, if you had a position group to pay attention to, who would you pay attention to? Put it in the chat. Let me know what position groups would y'all be, more focused on right now.
I worry about two damn positions right now, and that's defensive line and linebacker right now. That's what I'd be worried about. Mainly, really, the defensive line, like the backups.
What's your main concern?
Interior tackles. I'm not worried. This is the DBs. We can switch them around all day or whatever. But that defensive line, that's what we got to hold up that run, man. If we can't hold up no run in the interior, oh my God, they're gonna eat us alive.
Beast Mode says linebackers. David says he want to see wide receivers. Said no way RD let Bryce Young ball out on us.
Okay, you say that now. If once Nestor get rotated out and whoever the other boy is get rotated out, we got linebackers playing in the interior. If Bryce Young wanted to get out, he'll have bigger boys to push our boys around. I'm just telling you. And the linebacker, let me tell y'all something. Everybody worry about a linebacker. A linebacker's best friend is that defensive line in front of him. I'm telling you.
Okay. Maiden Day says linebackers also. Inside linebackers. That's a good question right there, Dog for Life. Who's the best DB the Canes got? Ooh. Right now, I can't make that decision. I can't. It's too early. Like if I'll get back to that question after the spring game, after I see something with my own eyes. I have to see it with my own eyes. I'm not just gonna throw up a guess or play favoritism and put my favorite player right now. So that's something I'd have to get back to you after the spring game. Orange and green blood in the building. What's going on, family? How you doing, boss?
What's up, orange and green blood? But
Sergeant,
man, D was a
Sergeant
bad.
AR-10 says the DBs. So when you say DBs, do you mean okay? So you say corners and safeties. That's the way he wants to see. Um, we got depth in both positions too. Cornerbacks. we need. I think we need some more cornerbacks. I do think, like I said, I do think Manny will pull maybe two more cornerbacks out of that portal. Right now, the portal is thick. Pause.
Hey,
Right
shit,
now,
man, stupid.
right now, the portal is full of players. I mean, thousands of players. Now, earlier on, the ACC passed the rule basically that transfer. If you want to transfer to another ACC school, you could do so, and you'll be eligible right away, without any of the sit out for a year thing. So, if we want to grab somebody from Virginia Tech or NC State, Pitt, you name it, even Florida State, we can. But that's right now. That's just in conference. If we were to grab somebody out of conference, I'm not sure the eligibility thing. Hopefully, they would let it slide because of COVID-19. But
Hey,
nevertheless, go ahead.
go ahead. Hey, click on Bahamas.
Hold on a second. Taz Haitian Kane, what's going on, my brother? He said, "What's up, family? How y'all doing? Just
What's up,
letting y'all
Taz?
know I have Club Shay Shay on standby just in case y'all y'all use the word thick." Oh man, y'all already put Skip Bailey on his pause. Y'all don't be next. Yeah, I had to give myself the pause because got caught in the moment a little bit. But yeah, the word thick will not be thrown around when it comes to depth in the transfer port no more.
Hey, look at Bahamas' best DBs on the team right now.
Best DB Bolden. Me and Norman is on the same level. I do think it's Bolden also, but look out for guys like Avantae Williams. Look out for guys that's coming in. James Williams hasn't even touched campus yet. So, right now we just got to sit back and watch these practice go through. We just got to. Well, I'll say watch like we can see it, but we just got to sit back and hope that Manny and the coaching staff put the proper talent on the field. No favoritism. No
Hey,
favoritism. No seniority.
Bahamas said best DBs are Pope and Wiggins.
Oh God. We're not gonna do that tonight. We're not gonna do that tonight, man. Uh, we recruit safeties, but no cornerback. Yeah, for the past couple of years, we've been getting top safeties. Avantae Williams, James Williams, you name it. We getting top safeties coming in, and even pulling Bolden out of the portal. We got Gervin still on the what you call it chart now. We still do got Amari Carter. Now a lot of fans, from what I've been hearing, they would hope that Amari Carter moves down to linebacker, which not happening right now. He's sticking to safety.
That'd be the best fit for Carter. That'd be the best fit.
Oh man. Florida Kane says we only accept FSU cheerleader transfer. That's it. That's the only thing we'll take from Florida State is cheerleaders. I got you, man. If the NCAA rules transfer portal guys can play immediately, does that overrule the ACC rule? I mean, if they rule that they could play, immediately, then the ACC rule is still in play. It just complement each other, because if the ACC make it where transfers could play immediately, then the ACC is going to be a part of that also. But it'll just be for now until the NCAA does do something like that. It's basically the ACC alone. The ACC alone is the only conference to pass that, to where you could transfer in conference and play right away. But if the NCAA, let's say the SEC, the Big 12, Pac-12, and all those guys wants to pass that same rule, then the NCAA, I think, might step in and say, all right, well, just make it for everywhere. Everywhere you transfer, you go ahead and play right away. So
hold the phone up, T2Y. Hold the phone up.
Yo, Kilo. Oh,
what up?
man.
Look at that stimulus package.
Man, I still ain't get mine, man. Hey, appreciate that, bro. $100 donation from Hurricane Kilo. Hurricane stimulus package from the kid. Hey, man, appreciate that, boss. Thank you, sir. Man, appreciate that, Kilo. That's a touchdown for the channel, man. That's a huge touchdown.
You hit that like 3 times.
Man, you already know, bro. It's all about the you. Man, appreciate you, Kilo. Like I said, the stimulus thing, I have yet to get the $600 one that was passed. I still haven't got that one yet. So I'm way backed up. I haven't done my taxes yet, so I might get that during that. But anyway, back to Kings football, man. Hurricane, appreciate you, boss. Appreciate you a lot. Whew.
Hey, boy. Okay, so I feel like Adam Schefter right now looking at my phone. But
He said what?
I said I feel like Adam Schefter right now looking at my phone. So Kilo, I can't even say nothing after that. Stimmy.
Like I said, I haven't got nothing. I got the first one. That was when Trump was still in office. The first one he sent out, I got that one. But the 600 and the one that's just supposed to come by, I still haven't got none of it yet. So it might be on my taxes. Hopefully I don't hold the government nothing. I don't think I owe nothing. Pay my taxes on time. But anyways, back to the position groups now. Linebackers. Now, like I said, this list is not fully updated. They have not updated it. Most likely they'll update the list when we get the transfers in, the class, to be complete. Leonard, like I said, Leonard Taylor and all those other guys, they're not listed yet. They haven't updated the list, but these are the guys that we got coming back. These are the guys that we know for sure is on the roster, but they don't have the 2021 class on here. So Sam Brooks, Avery Huff, Corey Flagg. I've been hearing good things about Corey Flagg, by the way. Sneed, Austin Cave. I've been hearing his name tossed around too. Deshaun Troutman. I'm waiting to see some kind of film. I hear something about him, but I think that dude might be somebody to look out for in the future. We got Ryan Reagan. I'm sorry. Smith, Bradley Jennings, Huffman, McLeod, still listed as cornerback, but I think that'll change soon. I think he should be moving to defensive end. I think he's going to stick at defensive end.
Right.
Now, defensive ends. Let's skip off linebackers real quick. Defensive ends. Quincy Roche, Jalen Phillips. We're losing both of those guys to the NFL draft. Congratulations to those guys. We'll be watching the draft. Hopefully, they both get picked in the first round. And not to forget Greg Rousseau. Hopefully, all those guys get picked in the first round. But if it does happen to where it's only two, I do think the two would be, Phillips and Rose.
I'm looking at Rose to go higher.
Not Rose. I'm sorry. Gregory Rousseau. I think those two will be picked, and then I think Roche might be a second round, but hopefully they all go in the first. And not to mention, Brevin Jordan and our kicker probably will get selected. I mean, the best kicker in college football right now. But Defensive end, McLeod. Now, do you think McLeod goes down to defensive end and start right away over the defensive ends that we got already?
No, no. Mm-mm.
Do you think
That McLeod might as well just go ahead and get ready to be rotated in at the best.
Maiden Day say my stem is supposed to be coming soon as well, T2I? If you do your taxes, you'll get 600, then you'll miss that you missed plus the new one. Okay. Yeah, I got to get some time to do my taxes and get that stimmy rolling. um, so back to McLeod. How how y'all feel about McLeod? How do y'all
McLeod,
feel about McLeod? Do y'all feel like McLeod is gonna pin out at defensive end? We saw him play a little bit in the bowl game at defensive end. He didn't do terrible, but I wouldn't say I was impressed. What's your thoughts on McLeod being at defensive end?
I think it's I think it's a good move because they've been doing defensive end hybrids, and then linebackers do drop in on certain packages. So it depends on how often they have them in there. It depends.
Now Norman says if Carter wants a shot at the league, he has to move the linebacker. He may he may not be a every down guy, but he can't tackle in the open field and he can't provide help over the top. Not to mention the targeting issue. I think half of the time when they do call targeting on him is not necessarily targeting, but he's one of those players they keep an eye out for whenever he hits somebody. He's known for drawing targeting penalty, even when they're not targeting, even when they come back to say okay it's not targeting. But I do think for his speed, linebacker at linebacker he would be a menace. I think he has the speed to cover the linebacking position. I think he can tackle. He could be physical.
I mean, is he going to be an outside linebacker, inside linebacker? That's my question.
Now that's the question too. But at the moment, he's not moving the linebackers. So this is all just speculation talk. He's staying at safety, which we're deep in the safety position. We are deep. It's going to be heavy rotation. That's why I feel like this is our time to run the tables. We could run the tables in the ACC. We could win the Coastal and go up against Clemson in the ACC championship. I feel like this year, more than any other year, we got that chance. With the depth, we got 91% returning. 91%. Basically, almost all the roster from last season came back, plus the guys that we picked up, in the portal, and the guys that we picked up in our 2021 class coming in. So this year, there's competition brewing at every single position. Not to mention, we still got, we still going to go into the portal and grab like 4 more guys that'll be able to come in the summer. So I think this season Miami can really, really take a run at the ACC. We could definitely, make it to the ACC championship. The only team that I think could possibly stand in our way in the Coastal, of course, North Carolina. I'm not trying to sleep on any team or anything like that, but I do, from looking at them and looking at us, looking at their records, what they posted last season, plus what we got coming back versus them, I think we could run the ACC Coastal. I think we could get to the ACC championship and go up against Clemson. Because I do believe Clemson will make it back to the ACC championship. I don't think there's a team on that Atlantic side that's going to, pose a threat to them. We know Florida State not going to do it, not this season. So I think if Miami, with all this depth, they battle it out in spring, we get to see the best talent on the field, we can run the ACC and go up against Clemson. Nah, we can't bypass Alabama. Alabama is not just any team that we could just look past and just look towards the ACC championship. Alabama is national champions. They're stacked. They're loaded. Hell, this 2022 class coming in, they just broke a record. They got the highest rated class coming in. Never been done before like this. Alabama recruiting is at an all-time high. Now, there are, stories going around about how they got these recruits, money being tossed around, you name it. Rush props, by the way, sent the NCAA letter, basically saying that what he's saying, he has no proof, he has no evidence. He was just talking. So he basically backed out of everything that he said in that recording about Alabama and Georgia paying for players. But nonetheless, what was said was said. Behind closed door, he was recorded saying all this stuff that Alabama and Georgia's paying players. And as you guys know, if you don't have proof, if you can't show it, it's just talk. It could be true. But if you don't have no proof, you can't go on nothing.
You know what I say to that? Everybody do this. It wasn't me. It wasn't me all the time. It wasn't me. But then later on, they'll find out. It might be too late then.
Now, I do want to say this. Going into this season, my expectations for Miami is to beat some of these teams on our schedule convincingly. Last season, we pulled off 8 wins, but some of those wins, we all saw it as a fan base. We all saw it together. They was pretty close. Some of them was, nail biters, too close for comfort. We got to, with all this depth that we got, with all this competition brewing in all these positions, we even got better defensive coaches so far. So I think going into 2021, my expectations for the Canes are pretty high. Now, record-wise, I know this is way too early to be talking about record-wise, but what is your expectation record-wise going into this season?
My expectation? What up, BB Low? My expectation? I don't know. It's just up in the air for me. I don't have none right now. It's just whatever they show me this season. To be honest with you. I ain't gonna lie.
Like I said, looking at the roster that we got 91% coming back. We got experience at the O-line position.
Yeah.
We got backups at the O-line positions that are experienced. Expectation-wise, ACC-wise, and overall record, what you thinking? You could just put it out, but it could change as it goes. Once we get more information, we see the team play in the spring and stuff like that. It could change. But what's your expectation as of right now?
You really want me to answer that?
Yeah, answer it. Be 100% honest.
Pull the schedule up, and I'm gonna tell you. Pull the schedule up, and I'll tell you. Game from game.
All right, give me 1 second. Let me pull that up. Sergeant AR10 says 9 wins. Morris Jones says 10 wins in a bowl game in January. So he's looking for a New Year's 6. BB, he's a Gator fan, so he says 8 or 9. What is your expectation going into the season? Now I seen Zoe had put out a video, and he said his expectation was 11-1. Basically, the only loss on his expectation was Alabama. I'm right there with him. I'm with him.
You said what?
11-1. Based off based off what we got coming back, talent wise versus the teams in the ACC, I think Miami could go 11-1. Now I'm not saying that that's gonna be we going 11-1.
Mm-hmm.
But that's expectation wise. Expectation wise, I do think that we can go 11-1. And I'm not even counting out the Alabama game. I'm not even gonna count that out yet.
Are you pulling up the schedule?
But I do expect for us to bounce back from North Carolina. Because North Carolina is gonna be what stands in our way in the coastal and going to the ACC championship. I think it comes down to either one. It's either going to be Miami or North Carolina going into that ACC championship. All right, here we go.
For me to keep his job, he better go 11-1 or 12-0. That's what Kane Zay say.
Nah, top Sarge Kane. He said, "I agree. 11-1. Only Bama beats us."
Nah, I'm gonna tell you.
Do y'all think we make the playoffs if we lose to Alabama? Yes, we can make the playoffs, but we would have to win the ACC championship. If we lose to Alabama, we would have to win the ACC championship to make the playoffs.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you like this. How I think the schedule should go, how we win and lose. I'm gonna give you two different schedules. One, Illinois said Miami 12-0. Don't see Alabama. They on the field just like we on the field. True that. But as a as a fan, as a fan member of the Hurricanes, Chuck Mobile don't jump in that thing with a $10 donation.
Hold on. Let's see what Reggie said before that. It depends on if they're getting better. The guys coming back are not great. That's why Bama team that lost their offensive is favorite. We lose 3 games, so he think we're gonna lose 3. So he think we're going 9-3. Choke more beer with the $10 donation. Hello T2Y, great content versus Hello T2Y, great content. As always, go Canes. Smash the like button, you fam. I appreciate that. Chug more beer. That's a touchdown for the channel. Appreciate you, man. Thank you, boss. I really appreciate that. And as you guys already know, it's all about that you, baby. What's up? Appreciate you, Chug more beer. So schedule wise, spring game, ACC Network, 11 a.m. April 17th. Then we start the season off, September 4th, Alabama Crimson Tide. That's in Atlanta. That's a neutral site game. Most likely that's going to be more favored to Alabama in crowd wise. Alabama is a lot closer to Atlanta, and I think a lot of their fans are in that general area also. So they'll have probably the home field advantage if you ask me. Nonetheless, after that Alabama, we go home, Appalachian State, September 11th. I think we win that game, no doubt. Appalachian State did have a good season this past season. I think their record was I think they were 9-2, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh man.
But right after that, we play Michigan State, also home at Hard Rock. I think we get the win in that one. No disrespect to the Spartan fans or whatever, but I think we win that game. And then we have a CCSU Blue Devils. Like I said, never heard of them. Never heard of them. This is considered cupcake. I think Miami wins that game convincingly. I think this is a game that we'll probably see a lot of the younger guys get in, you know. So then we go into ACC play. First game up, Virginia at Hard Rock. So we got 4 back-to-back home games. 4 back-to-back home games after Alabama. So at this point, I think we do beat Virginia. I think we beat Virginia. So at this point, we'll coming off the before we go into a bye week, by the way, you know, the dreadful bye weeks. Um I think Miami has a possibility of being 4-1, or if we beat Alabama, big if right there. If we beat Alabama, we could go into ACC play and come out 5-0 before the bye week.
Okay, so I feel like this. Who slided to Atlanta? Concrete said who slided to the Atlanta for that game. I feel like this. If everything goes accordingly, we should go undefeated. But realistically, we're gonna lose to Alabama State. I mean Alabama. I'm about to say Alabama State. Excuse me, y'all. Alabama. We're gonna lose to Alabama.
We definitely would lose to Alabama State. Go ahead.
Yeah, we're gonna lose to Alabama. If we don't come in hot against Appalachian State, we just might lose to Appalachian State. Just might.
Get the hell up out of here.
Hey, listen.
Get
Hey, Appalachian State. Hey, listen.
We is not
Listen. No, listen. I'm just saying. Listen. And don't knock my head because I'm saying this. I said we might. I ain't said we are. I just said we might. We should win against Appalachian State. But if we come in a half stepping and they come in, everybody come in to play us like it's a championship. Okay? Don't miss that part. So if we come in a half stepping, then we might lose. But other than that, we'll win that game. Michigan State, yeah, we should win that game. Should win that game. CCSU, we'll blow them out. Virginia, that's another win. North Carolina, we're gonna lose. NC State, we'll win. Pitt, we'll win. Georgia Tech, I don't know. That's something else. I think honestly, I think we might lose that game against Georgia Tech. We might lose that game against Georgia Tech. We might lose that game against Georgia Tech. Florida State will win. Virginia Tech will win. Duke will win. But only guarantee I can give you of a loss is Alabama and North Carolina. Georgia Tech, we might lose that game. Because we have played them at home and we lost them. And they was sorry.
All right, so Georgia Tech is coming to Hard Rock
for the 3rd time in a row.
So, like I said, me personally, I think we beat Georgia Tech. But my games to look at that could be a win or a loss is going to be Alabama and North Carolina. Those are the 2 teams that I see that could possibly be a loss. Georgia Tech, I don't see us losing that. If we do, then, shocker to me. I don't see us losing to Georgia Tech. We'd probably lose to Pitt before we lose to Georgia Tech this season, to be honest with you. But I don't see us losing.
Hey, listen, I put like this. Georgia Tech won with a first-year head coach, walk-on, and we lost to him. And we had a better talented team. Twice, might I add.
Now, keep in mind, I want you to keep in mind, I want the fan base to keep in mind also, going into this season, defensive-wise, Manny Diaz is calling plays. All play calling is on Manny's head. There's no more Blake Baker to fall back on. Manny's aggressive defense will be there.
I mean, I get that. I understand that, and I hope it plays out like it did before. But I'm just saying, you asked me, and I gave you your answer.
Now, Kainze say we beat. He says we beat Georgia Tech by 21. Now,
I mean, I hope we do. I hope we do.
Now, this is very early. Now,
yeah, I hope we do.
Beast Mode saying keep an eye out for NC State.
That's what I said.
Like I said, I'm not telling nobody to sleep on any team on this schedule. I'm just saying based off what we did last season, what we got coming back versus them, what they did and what they got coming back, we're in a better shape. We're in better shape to beat all these teams. We're in better shape than all these teams.
Okay, I gotta cut you out on that. How you gonna say we're in better shape? We ain't even seen nothing on the field in the game yet.
That's what I'm saying. Based off last season and what we got right now. Coming down the line, when we see spring and we see these other guys, what they're working with, those evaluations can change. But as of right now, we look better than all these teams on our schedule.
Paper-wise.
Okay,
let me ask you a question. And I'm going to ask you this. Who's our starting quarterback? Name a starting quarterback right now. Just name him.
Like I said, paper-wise, TJ, we don't know. We don't know right now who's the starting quarterback.
It's a question mark, correct?
If we go into the season right now, Deriq King is the quarterback.
Deriq King, the quarterback. Who's your second string tight end?
Mallory is going to start, and competition-wise, we don't know. We don't know.
Okay.
Paper-wise, talent we got coming back. If all the guys that started last season start this season, we beat all these teams.
Thank you, Mr. Shobo. Says T2, come on, bro. We haven't done anything to say we look better. We haven't done anything in over 15 years, bro. Exactly.
Listen, y'all can't stop looking all the way back 15 years. Look at right now. Look at what we got right now.
Bro, we don't know what we got. That's the whole point.
We can't look at 15 years. We got to move at what we got on the team right now.
Okay.
Talent-wise, coaching-wise, we look better than almost all the teams that we playing on this list. North Carolina, coaching-wise, I think Matt Brown is a better coach than Manny Diaz. Hands down. Nick Saban is definitely a better coach than Manny Diaz. Some of these coaches for these teams might be better than Manny, but we got more talent. We got more talent, and we got more experience than almost every single team on this list.
I'm saying,
expectation-wise, off paper, and what we did last season compared to them, I think we got them right now. That could change going down the line if we lose a couple players here and there due to injury or something like that. Some of this stuff might change. But as of right now, looking at the schedule, I only see North Carolina and I only see Alabama.
Listen, I'm gonna say this. And Mr. Shobo understand what I'm talking about. That true enough, we got the talent. We had the talent last season. We had the talent the season before. We looked good on paper against a lot of teams. But we also lost to teams that we were supposed to lose against. And we had better talent, FIU, Duke, but we was better talented wise. So what's the difference of now, what we got on paper, than what we did when we played against FIU and stuff
when we played against FIU, did we have Reed Lashley calling plays? We had Dan Enos.
But the talent was still there. It was still there.
We had Dan Enos with the O-line looking terrible, with no experience on O-line. You can't put one thing out and neglect the other stuff that happened during that season. What I'm
saying, all these stars, all these players, but it all comes down to effort. And we could have easily effortlessly rolled FIU like we should have. Them boys were bigger and we were faster than them boys. Ain't no way in the world we had left effort.
And like he said, Manny Diaz defense had us as number 3 in the nation. Norman says, I think we beat Georgia Tech. What happened 3 years ago due to Dan Eno's offense? That stagger we need we had or whatever. Listen, you got to keep in mind we got updated coaches. We don't have the same coaches on offense that we did against FIU. You think with the coaching staff and the players that we have now with the experience online, you think FIU would have beat us?
If they had the same mind frame they did before, yeah. Most definitely. I mean,
talk about right now, what we got right now, with the coaches that we got, with the players that we got, the experience that we got, the depth chart that we got right now, do you think FIU would even stand a chance?
I mean, what have we proven so far since Manny got here? That we can give up 600-700 yards rushing? I mean, what have we proven so far?
You got to give Manny some credit, man. Manny, each offseason, Manny addressed the issues. Manny is not the greatest head coach, but when it comes to Miami's issues, every offseason he addressed them.
Oh shit! Hey, I gotta go.
All right, man. But like I said, every offseason, Manny has addressed the issues. We do not have that same team. We got experience now. On paper, looking at our schedule, we do, in my opinion, we do have a better team than all these guys on here, with competition being North Carolina and Alabama. Now, that's the schedule. So my expectations is high. Like I said, I do think we get over the hump and do beat Mac Brown this season, hopefully. So North Carolina and Alabama for me. Okay, so back to depth chart now. Linebacking positions. If you guys had to pick two linebackers on our current roster right now that y'all think would start game 1 against Alabama, who would that be? And you guys give me 1 second. Please put that in the chat. Give me 1 second. All right, so I put the link in the chat. I want to hear some of you guys' opinion. Slim Shady with a 305. Appreciate you, boss. He said 3 or 4 losses probably. Slim Shady, the link is in the chat. You come in and tell us why you think 3 to 4 losses. But for anybody that wants to come in, what we'll do 2 at a time. That way we don't be talking over each other and stuff like that. So the link, I just put the link in the chat for anybody who come in and give their thoughts and opinion on basically the roster that we got now, the schedule that we got. What's your expectation? Linebackers, any key position that you think the starters will be, competition-wise, you name it. So the link is in the chat. Like I said, anybody wants to come in and give their thoughts and opinions and give their input on the team, click the link. Hey, you guys give me 1 second. The kids just got home, so I know you guys hear the crying in the background. So give me 1 second. What's going on with you, boss?
What they do, man?
right. So what's your thoughts, man?
My thoughts on the season?
Practice so far, competition. Competition in each position, and your expectation going into the season.
Uh, well, every year my expectations is championships, cause that's what I've been. You feel me? My daddy, he brought me up on that, dog. You feel me? So,
I
but
love it. Love it.
realistically, dog, I like 11-1. Like we got talent coming back. You feel me? Like we got the running backs. We just, what I'm saying, we can get that defense settled. You feel me? I think we should go 11-1. Like a lot of the games we lost last year. Well, we lost to North Carolina. That was a blowout. I'm still hot about that. But a lot of the game we lost, we wasn't getting blowed out. You feel me?
Yeah, like I said, I'm with you on that. But you got to look at the games that we did lose last year. The Clemson game was a blowout,
Yeah,
and the
that was
North
a blowout.
Carolina game was a blowout.
Yeah.
So
Them,
that's why I'm not ruling North Carolina out. I do think we get over that hump.
yeah. Nah, they last year, like the Clemson, those two main games, that's where we got exposed the most. Clemson and North Carolina. Like they gotta stop the run, man. Like if you can't stop the run, you can't stop nothing. If they can stop that front seven, it's all about the front seven. If they can, like I said, this is Manny last year. He has to understand that this defense has to be A1. It can't be, you know what I'm saying? That's what the Hurricane we've been predicated on for years. So therefore, once they get that defense straight, offense gonna be there. I like Lashley. I like the way his offense moves.
Yeah, I mean, North Carolina, like I said, we don't have Blake Baker here calling them soft plays no more. So we're
Mm.
gonna see a more aggressive defense from Manny Diaz, in my opinion. So I think some of the issues that we see with the run game, the over almost 700 yards or whatever we seen from North Carolina, I don't see that happening again.
No.
If that happens again, I'll be looking at Manny totally different.
Man, if that happened again, I'm going down to Coral Gables myself with a pitchfork and a sign. Get rid of Manny. Playing that, dog. Not this year, bro. No, man.
Now, so basically, you're looking at Alabama as that one loss.
As that one loss, yeah. Like, and it hurts for me to say that we're gonna lose to Alabama. I want to win every game. I want to be realistic at the same time. You feel me? But dog, like, man,
Like I said, right now, I don't know if we win or lose that game. I'm not confident to where I can say we beat Alabama.
right?
But I do go into that game knowing that in my head we could win that game.
It's
We
a
played
definite
this
possibility.
football. I think we can win that game. Slim Shady is in the back. What's going on, Slim? Slim joining us. Hold on, let me pull myself down so Slim. Okay, there we go.
How
What's
bad is
going
that
on, Slim?
background noise?
Slim.
So what's
What's
going
happening?
on, Slim? Slim? So you got 3 to 4 losses.
Oh yeah,
Which teams? Hold on, let me put the schedule back up too. So we're on
3 to
this
4 losses. Where that's at?
4 losses.
North Carolina and Alabama for starters. Until you prove you can beat Georgia Tech, I'm gonna say you can't beat Georgia Tech. And Virginia Tech's always a possibility, always.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but at this moment, Virginia Tech don't even have a quarterback.
Yeah, they
I,
lost, they boy.
I do, I understand that, but Virginia Tech's just always been one of those teams. It's considered technically a rivalry game, but it's one of those teams that always plays the stuff. Where's the game at?
Yeah, what we playing at?
That'll be at Hard Rock.
Okay, well, that'll make it a little better. Blacksburg's
Yeah,
got
make
no
a little
home.
better. You gotta protect your home games.
But
Got
here's my thing. I just heard y'all talking about this North Carolina game.
mm.
And I don't know where people are getting this narrative that a soft defense cost that game. An over-aggressive defense cost that game because Quincy Roche and Jalen Phillips overran the play every single play. That's why their O-line was pushing into the linebacking core, and nobody was getting to them until they hit the secondary.
But you got to look at that game for what it is too. There was no adjustments made.
Nope.
Nobody said, "Hey, you guys are overdoing it. You know, switch, do this or do that, change it up." They just kept doing it the whole game, and the same result happened.
Man, the running back walked into the end zone. Nobody touched him.
Do you know for a fact those things were not said to the players? Because I'd almost bet you every dollar in my bank account that they were.
So as a coaching staff, you tell these players what's going on and what's to do, and you see them doing the same thing on the field. You do not say nothing. You do not pull them to the side and say nothing.
That's exactly my point. I guarantee you they did.
And you just
Now,
watch
whether they
them
listen to it or
constantly
not.
do it, and they don't bench them or put somebody else in.
That's coaching.
You can't bench them anymore because as soon as you put some fan's favorite player on the bench or some group of fans' favorite player on the bench, they're on social media hollering for you to be fired, and they've already seen that Blake James' dumbass will listen to them.
Like I said, I understand where you're coming from with North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
My whole point in general is this fan base, at some point, the ones that are not high school coaches need to learn that you probably don't know what you're talking about. Because as soon as Dan Enos leaves, that man excels at his very next job and has got another offensive coordinator position.
But you got to look at Dan Enos for what he is. Dan Enos had a horrible O-line that he made no adjustment in play call. He knew the plays that he was running could not be ran by that O-line. He knew that O-line couldn't hold up for the development of his plays. So,
how many times did Deriq Gunn get sacked this year? So even with a mobile quarterback, as mobile as you can get, you're still sacking the quarterback almost 30 times this year.
But that goes into the O-line. The O-line, like I said, we got depth now. Half the time we had guys that was injured almost the whole season.
What's up?
This time going around, we have depth in that position. We got guys that could be rotated in now to give the other guys that's in there that's fatigued some rest. We didn't have that what's the word for it? We didn't have that pleasure last season.
Oh, and I get that, and I completely agree with that, and that's what I said at the time. But nobody wanted to give credit for the fact that you don't have it and you have to get it. Listen, as talented as Miami is, they're not there yet. I mean, if you just go by recruiting index, they're like barely in the top 20. They're somewhere around 16 or 17.
Now, I'm going to say this. Even with Deriq King, a mobile quarterback, if the O-line and the play calling was the same last season that it was with Dan Enos, half the games that we won this season, we wouldn't have won.
It was a whole lot of bubble screens and a whole lot of read options. That's exactly what Dan Enos ran.
We wouldn't have lost to FIU. I know that.
Deriq King's just better at it. Well, no, Jaron Williams was hungover all that game.
Yeah, but my thing is, I'm not trying to look past. I'm trying to move forward. I'm trying to move forward with the team that we got right now. We can't change nothing that happened last season or the season before. I'm just looking at what we got on the roster, the depth that we got, the experience that we got, and the chances that we got against these teams on our schedule, us compared to them.
Oh, exactly. That's why I said 3 or 4 losses, and I'm leaning more towards 3 than the 4.
That's fair.
I mean, it's the way football goes. You make incremental steps and get better. 9 wins is better than last year. You can make it 10 if you win your bowl game, if your receivers can learn to catch the ball.
Oh, my goodness, catch the ball.
Now, speaking of catching the ball, what's your thoughts on the competition at wide receivers?
I think there needs to be, most definitely. And unless Mark Pope shows a whole lot of improvement and Pete Wiggins shows a whole lot of improvement, improvement, they need to consider moving to cornerback because their future is not at wide receiver.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Now, I don't put all of it on them. It's partially on them because everybody's responsible for themselves. But there's also the external factor of them having 3 offensive coordinators, 3 wide receiver coaches, and 2 head coaches in their time. If you don't have stability, it's hard for players to grow. So I can't put it all on them, in my opinion.
All I know is, man,
I think that got a lot to still do with Dugans, dog. I think Dugans that after affecting him. I think a lot. I think that got a lot to do with it too, because Florida State receivers can't catch, we can't catch. So that's Dugans.
Yeah, but we can't look at Florida State and measure ourselves to them. We play Florida State 1 game out of 12. We can't even. The only game we can match up with Florida State is that game against Florida State. But
and Dugans has also been gone for 2 years, so it's hard to use him at this point.
I just think, like I said, looking at our schedule, and we're all entitled to our own opinion. I see North Carolina and Alabama. You guys might see, like you said, Virginia Tech and I think you said Georgia Tech. I don't see us losing to those teams. We can lose or we can win. I'm leaning more towards win.
Oh, I would lead more towards win too. But like I said, with Georgia Tech, it's until you show me you can beat them, because you're on a 2-game losing streak to them. Until you show me, then I'll say you can beat them.
I think if that game did not get canceled this season, I think we beat Georgia Tech.
I think we probably would have too.
I don't see Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech can make. Somebody got the phone going.
Not me. I'm at work.
My bad. That's me.
All right, so we got. I think if we play, like I said, if we play Georgia Tech this season pass, we would have beat them. I don't see them making that major change on their team to where they would be able to beat the Canes of 2020. So I don't even think they'll beat the Canes of 2021 either.
I don't either. I think Georgia Tech is a couple years away from really challenging with anybody, because when you bring in a whole new system like that, you need completely different type of players. I mean, you need at least 4 years of recruiting to really get something established.
Nah. Competition-wise, practice-wise, have you seen any of the stuff that's going on? The competition between quarterbacks.
I mean, very limited.
What's your thoughts on everybody so far writing off Matoka? Because all of them.
I mean, I don't like to write off anybody as general rules. But I mean, listen, Tyler Van Dyke was a highly recruited 4-star quarterback for a reason. So he's coming in. His floor is above Matoka, no doubt. Now, whether his ceiling is time.
Now you got Tyler Van Dyke coming in as a 4-star. You also got Jake Garcia coming in as a 4-star. Jake Garcia is the highest rated quarterback on our list. So do we if we're doing it based off that, shouldn't Garcia be in the lead?
No, because Tyler Van Dyke's already got a year ahead of Garcia in the system, on campus, practicing with him.
Now, this system that Reed Lashley run is mainly for a mobile quarterback, which is, in my opinion, Jay Garcia is way more mobile than Tyler Van Dyke. Tyler Van Dyke is a pro-style quarterback. Jay Garcia is a dual threat. Jay Garcia, I think, arm-wise, I think him and Tyler Van Dyke might have him by a little, but I think they're pretty close. For mobility, especially in this Reed Lashley's offense, I think Garcia has the edge. If he could get healthy and, put up a fight in this spring, I do think he'll probably emerge over Tyler Van Dyke. Right now, after 2 or 3 practices, Tyler Van Dyke is everybody's favorite because they seen 1 or 2 clips of him throwing the ball.
Hmm.
Slim just went out. I think he probably lost signal. Now, what's your thoughts on that though? Because I know you probably been seeing it too. The Garcia, Van Dyke battle. Everybody's ruling out Matoka.
I mean, it's practice, dog. I can't really feed too much into practice. Feel me? Like,
Not only practice that we not seeing.
you feel me? Like, I gotta see something.
Practice that we see 2-minute clips. Like I said, today I seen the Gators drop the video 4 days ago. They did an 18-minute video showing practice, showing some drills, showing everything. Talking to the players, talking to the coaches and stuff. And I'm like, I kind of got I ain't gonna lie, I got a little jealous, man, because I'm like, yo, why can't we get this kind of in-depth footage and, personal? I kind of felt like, Kane's All Access is kind of selling us short a little bit.
Yeah, like, I need to see something, though. All this excitement, and I don't see nothing. Like, I can't get excited.
So, Slim, you there?
What happened now?
Slim can't
Yeah,
go.
sorry about that. Someone called me.
Okay. So like I said, the Tyler Van Dyke. This for you, Slim. The Tyler Van Dyke, the Matoka, and the Garcia. As you know, like I said, Garcia is a dual threat. Tyler Van Dyke is more of a pro style quarterback. If Garcia could stay healthy, do you think that he could overtake that position?
What is backup this year? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
Asking if he could
back
take
up for
over
Deriq
backup?
King.
Not a chance in hell.
So you don't think he could take that backup from Tyler Van Dyke?
Not a chance in hell.
And what about?
I mean, listen, it took a generational talent like Trevor Lawrence to overtake an embedded starter. So I don't know what makes people think that Jay Garcia is going to come in and do it. That just doesn't make any sense.
Me personally, I'm not ruling out Jay Garcia. I think
I'm not ruling him out, but I'm just saying for this year, no.
I think if at 100%, this is just my thoughts. At 100%, going into a battle with Tyler Van Dyke for that position, I'm leaning towards Jake Garcia. I think the system fits him better. I think he's a mobile quarterback. You see what the system could do for Deriq King. Imagine what it could do for Garcia that is mobile and can throw the ball.
Well, I have a question towards that. What did the system really do for Deriq King? Because his numbers look a lot like Malik Rozier's in 2018, just with less interceptions.
You got to look at it, Slim. That O-line. Mm-hmm.
And a lot of drop balls.
Deriq King has a better O-line to work with than Malik Rozier did.
That O-line, man. I think, like I said, going into this season, they got a lot more experience. They got a lot more depth. So,
I understand that they have experience and depth this year, but your statement was, look what Rhett Lashley's offense did for Deriq King. He didn't do a damn thing. That was actually Deriq King's worst year as a quarterback as a starter for the entire season, statistically.
Now that O-line, when they played for you gotta look at it too. This season past, they had a little experience, but this season going into this season, I think with the experience that they picked up these past 2 seasons, plus the depth, I think we're gonna see a different O-line going in.
They were all basically juniors last year with 3 years of starting experience. So
a lot of those guys got thrown into the fire due to injuries, though.
Yeah, 2 years before, not last year. This is fixing to be the fourth year the offensive line is all played together. Minus, one guy here, one guy there.
Like I said, based on experience and depth, I'm optimistic for this O-line. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, I am too for this year. They finally got an experienced offensive line that to your point, completely out of excuses, minus all 5 starters going down.
Now, like I said, quarterback wise, I'm glad to see Tyler Van Dyke is doing well. I'm glad to see that Deriq King, if he does not make it, at least one of the quarterbacks is looking good so far. But I'm not ruling out Garcia right now. Garcia is limited in practice. He got the foot injury. He's working through that. So I believe that he can put up a fight for that position. I think in my opinion, I think he's better fit for that position than Tyler Van Dyke.
That's a good problem to have if you got multiple quarterbacks that can, step in. If one can't go, you need stuff like that.
Now, quarterback competition that we've seen over the years, Miami hasn't, made great choices. We see the whole Deriq King coming in having to start over Perry, Jaron Williams situation and all of that. We see, quarterbacks show a little bit of promise and then boom, switching in different quarterbacks, we don't have a quarterback again.
A lot of that.
Hopefully that's not the way it goes with, Garcia or Van Dyke. Hopefully one of them could be a solid starter and the other could be a solid backup.
Right.
Looking beyond Deriq King, by the way.
I think they'll probably both in time get their chances as a starter, more than likely. I think because for starters, I think you're underestimating Tyler Van Dyke's ability to move. I mean, he's already got experience throwing on the run and moving the pocket, and pressure's coming at him when the pocket collapses. And I mean, just look at this past year. Deriq King really didn't take off unless he just absolutely had to.
How do you guys think the kick return team's going to look this year?
It depends on who they put back there.
Yeah, because that's going to be tough. I think probably we'll probably see Xavier back there again. We'll probably see him because if he stayed healthy, last season without the COVID situation, then he would have been back there more often. But then you see games where he wasn't there, they put Pope back there, and it didn't quite pin out pretty well. But I think with Xavier being healthy, I think Xavier might be the guy.
Y'all don't trust no freshmen because I put that boy Rashard Smith back there.
Yeah, he's a speedster too, but I can't really say put him back there because, like I said, I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen anybody in practice, lining up to catch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, speed's not everything though. I mean, look at. And I mean, I know he's not a punt returner or a kick returner, but look at Trent Richardson. If you don't have vision, all that speed in the world is useless.
Norman says, I think after fall practice, Garcia gets a nod because of his mobility. Bama has 9 starters returning on defense. Yeah, we definitely gonna need a quarterback to be mobile because trust me, that defensive line of Alabama is gonna be in that backfield.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, so, I mean, they should be if the offensive line is as good as you claim it's gonna be.
I mean, Bama got studs. They gonna get back.
Our line, they're gonna be experienced. They're gonna be experienced. They're gonna have depth, but nonetheless, Alabama has talent too.
Right.
So I don't expect our old line not to give up any plays to Alabama. Right. I just hope that it's not as many as we did to Florida.
10 sacks. Lord have mercy.
If we could have the old line, give Garcia or Tyler Van Dyke or King enough time to at least make plays to get some wide receivers open, or if they have to take off on foot, I think we'll have a better chance at winning that game.
To me, this was the big distinction between Jaron Williams and Perry. Jaron Williams can just stay in the pocket, take the shot. Now, I'm not necessarily a big fan of a running quarterback, but something Perry was very good at that I think more quarterbacks need to take advantage of is learning to just move the pocket, throw on the run.
Well, like I said, you see the difference with Deriq King and O-line. O-line improved a little, not much last season, but they did improve a little bit. They gave him some time to make some plays, whether it was with his legs or, passing the ball. I think it gets better this season. So, like I said, a team like Alabama, they will get in that backfield. I'd rather have a mobile quarterback back there. That's why I'm leaning more towards Garcia.
I think it would have to be extraordinary circumstances for you to see a true freshman get in there like that.
Oh, I'm with you on that, but like I said, competition. If they're being fair in practice, if Garcia wins that spot, if he looks better than Tyler Van Dyke, King's not back, start the kid. Get away from the field. Get away from the seniority. Start.
Well, see, here's the thing: you're gonna have a group of people. No matter who starts, if King's out, say there's favoritism being played.
Those people.
And I mean, here's just the fact of the matter: Tyler Van Dyke has got a year in college in the game ahead of Jake Garcia. Jake Garcia's chance, and especially being out for the spring too, Jake Garcia's got about an iceberg's chance in hell.
Jake Garcia's not out. He's there. He's taking reps and everything. He's just limited, like I said. They're not doing too much on his feet. But he's out there making passes and everything. So he's not completely out. Like I said, the fan base saw Tyler Van Dyke make 2-3 passes, and everybody jumped on board to the Tyler Van Dyke thing. I'm not jumping on board yet. I'm not jumping on board. I'm not saying that Tyler Van Dyke isn't good. I'm not saying that he's not going to win that spot. I just want to see the competition play out first. Now, if at the end of the day, if I'm rooting for Jake Garcia, and at the end of the day, Tyler Van Dyke does look better and he does look more competitive than Jake Garcia, then put Tyler Van Dyke. Personally, I think Garcia.
I'm not even saying who's better or who's worse. I'm just saying by the odds, chances are it's going to be Tyler Van Dyke. And I mean, listen, you can look at all the high school highlights you want. That don't mean nothing when it comes to a college game.
Hey man, like I said, I'm not ruling out, and I'm actually mad at myself because I didn't even put Matoka in that situation just then. I feel like I'm ruling them out too now.
Well, like I said, I don't rule anybody out. I'm just going by, like I said, the odds of it. What's most likely to happen? You see what I'm saying?
That's why I'm like, I really want to see these practices. I really want to see them up close and personal because I don't hear nothing about Matoka. I don't see nothing from him. They don't show nothing from his practice or anything. So what is this guy doing in practice that they're not, giving him any acknowledgement?
I mean, they don't. People have been wanting to see in practices for decades. That ain't never going to happen. I mean, even during that little media availability period, when they would let the media come out and watch them practice, all they're doing then is just running drills. I mean, how much you really going to learn watching guys running drills?
But my thing is, that's what we're seeing with Tyler Van Dyke. We just watching him do drills. So if we can see his drills, I want to see Matoka's drills too. I want to be able to make evaluations.
Yeah.
Because remember when we saw
at some point we'll see some.
remember when you saw the competition played out with Jaron Williams and Nkosi Perry and Tate Martell. We got some glimpse.
You really did though. We saw the same thing then though. We saw drills in practice.
No, but you
that's
had
really all we've ever seen.
You had the capability of seeing of people going there, you know, getting video and stuff like that. So you can make, Footballville, for example. He would have videos of the practice. So you could watch his videos and see what's going on in the practices. And you could say, okay, I'm team Perry or I'm team, Williams or whoever's making the better, more accurate passes. Because, how they practice is how they're going to play on the field most of the time.
Yeah, but even with Footballville's videos, all you're seeing is drills because that's all they allow any of them to see. They run them off after that media availability period is over.
Yeah, but like I said, around that. But like I said, with most drills that you can see from each quarterback, at least you got to see those. At least you got to see it from each quarterback to where you can say, okay, this guy's more consistent. This guy threw this same drill maybe 15 times, and he was accurate maybe 12 times out of 15, while this other guy was maybe 9 or something. You can make some kind of evaluation, but when you can't see nothing at all, is what I'm saying. We just got to go by.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Right now, like I said, it's pretty early. We just 3 practices in. I just find it annoying. The first practice, everybody was crowning Tyler Van Dyke. Everybody was, just Tyler Van Dyke is the guy, and that's it. After one practice.
Well, because they had him running reps with mostly the ones, and that's the media talking. It's a lot, and fans talking. But there ain't nothing come out of the team yet to say that he's solidly number 1 or he's solidly number 2 or anything like that. So people just got to learn to tune that kind of stuff out. And media does that to give them something to talk about.
Now, my thing too is, okay, they ask the players and their thoughts in those interviews. How many players going to sit down in front of the camera and say, this guy played terrible? If he saw him in practice and he played terrible, you think he's going to go to that press conference and say that he played terrible?
Well, no, he's not. And if you notice, I noticed this really bad. I watched Amari Carter's press interview. If you notice, he kept looking at somebody behind the camera. They're telling him what to say. They have things they are and aren't allowed to say, especially after I think it was Mike Harley, dropped that little bombshell about the wide receivers last year.
Right. Because can you imagine, okay, I step up to the podium. I'm a Deriq King, and I say, Mike Pope and Wiggins, they dropping balls in practice. They looking horrible. We need to start somebody else or something like that. Now, when I go back to the locker room, I'm looking into the face of Mark Harley, and I'm looking into the face of not Mike Harley, Mark Pope, and I'm looking at Wiggins. That could be some tension in the locker room stuff. So half of those press conferences with these players, you're not going to get the truth or 100% of their thoughts and opinions.
Oh, I think you're going to have more tension in the locker room. I think there's going to be a scrap.
What do you mean I can't catch? You throw them. you can't throw. I would have catched it if you would have threw it right.
And Mark Pope going to come out the very next press conference talking about that trick throwing some wobbly balls. Can't nobody catch them.
Yeah, so press conference wise, that's all we get. We getting players' thoughts on other players where they've been, they're taught how to talk to the media. So, like I said, right now we don't have visual. We're not there in practice and stuff. So these are the only things we can feed off. and a 2-minute clip from Kane's All Access every other week or so.
Yeah, I wish they would, and you would think they would do more with that, considering that's run by the University of Miami.
They're right there. They have cameras everywhere. They could make better production. Hell, put me down there. Give me a camera crew. I could make a dang better video. I could edit a better video.
I mean, Kane's All Access is students on campus. Those are the ones doing it. It's run by the university. You would think it'd be a little better.
Kane's All Access is ran by some old guys. When they do the interviews, the old guys that's asking the question, those are the guys that runs it.
Oh yeah, I know, but they work for the University of Miami. That is run by that is owned by the University of Miami. Most of the people running the cameras and behind the scenes, a lot of them are students.
My thing is, when you give that video or that time and effort into making productions, you could do a lot better than them 2 minutes that we see.
Oh, most definitely. But also, you have to look at it like this. What we can see, other teams they play can see. And that's something they look at as well.
Morris got a point, too. He said, got to watch what you say. Can't expose our weakness. Any negative response is what our coaches probably said at practice.
Oh, no, they don't want you saying nothing negative to the press.
Yeah. I mean, look what happened with the Mike Harley situation. When he came out and said, we've been playing mediocre, we ain't doing no extra after practice or nothing like that, everybody was looking at Rob Likens. Like, you the wide receiving coach. They're not catching the ball. They dropping them, big mistakes on the field, not getting no separation, not fighting for the ball.
Well, and here's the problem. Here's the problem with that line of thinking, though. The NCAA only allows the coaches to be with the players 20 hours a week. So that is, I mean, what he's talking about is the players aren't putting in the work they have to on their own. And that's, you can't do nothing on their own. And that's where I think people want to blame the coaches so much when you actually have to look at the effort the players put in too. Yeah,
but also on the other hand, as a coach, you got to be able to evaluate your players and know when they're not giving you 100%.
Well, I mean, how do you know from everything he's seeing? And I said this at the time. For all we know, it was an epidemic with the entire locker room, at least as far as the wide receivers went, and they look the best in practice because they're going to look the best because they're the most experienced.
Now, if I'm a guy like Reed Lashley and Rob Likens, first thing I'm going to do is, okay, you say you're doing mediocre in practice, blah, blah, blah. Well, competition-wise, I'm going to set up competition, and I'm going to watch you go out there and work your hardest. And I'm going to take a mental note of what your hardest is. So I know when you're not giving me 100% now. When I saw you at your top level competing, if I don't see that from you every time now, I know you're slacking on me.
I get what you're saying, but what I'm saying is they probably are putting in all the effort when they're at practice, but it's not just at practice because they're only allowed to practice with the coaches 20 hours a week. They have to put in the effort by themselves on their own or as a group together when the coaches aren't around.
Yeah.
And you have to trust them to do it. And obviously, they just aren't doing that. And there's nothing the best coach in the world can do about that. If the players aren't putting it in on their own.
Yeah, I agree with you totally. But I'm saying those hours that I got with you, you're going to give me 100% every single time. Every single time.
But you remember a couple years ago, Robert Knowles, practice field warrior, looked the greatest on the practice field. Even his highlights look good on the practice field. Boy, you put him in a game, he couldn't cover shit.
Yeah, but, it goes against the grain, man, because you got your players that you go up against in practice, sometimes you take notes of their tendencies. So if I know how to guard this player, I know how to work him every single time. Practice look easy for me. You might look at my practice like he dominating. That's because I don't learn these players, tendencies. But when you got other teams,
Valid point too.
that's how you get exposed.
Yeah, that's a valid point too.
That's why I'm glad we got so much depth at wide receivers now, to where they could rotate them to where guys don't just get used to guarding one guy.
Yeah.
And you got guys out there with different capabilities. So now, and different tendencies also. So now you don't get, okay, I always guard this guy every time in practice. I know his tendencies. I know how to lock him down. That's it. I look great. Now you got 3-4 different guys with different tendencies that you got to learn, and then they switch it up on you all the time. You got 12 guys now to learn,
Yeah, well, and even beyond that too, there's also the fact the reason Alabama is so good is because you got 5 stars competing against 5 stars. Once you get it at practice, once you get into practice at Miami, you have some 5 stars and 4 stars going against 3-star guys. You see what I'm saying?
Now,
the depth
Hurricane,
of Alabama is what makes them so much better.
Now, Hurricane Miller says, bro, I think we making mistake with Matoka. 6'4", 200 pounds, and can run. Might as well transfer. I mean, if they keep counting out Matoka and not giving him a chance, or, well, I can't even say they're not giving him a chance because I can't see. But if he's not in the talks of, being in the starting lineup, competing or whatever, it's going to be a situation where he might do end up have to transfer. Me personally, I think we need him for depth because anything could happen. Quarterback could go down. King might not be back, the first game or whatever. Who knows when King will be back? From what we're hearing, that he's on record pace to come back, but we're not sure that he will be back on time or when he will be back. So that depth we do need. If Tyler Van Dyke gets the starting position, he goes out there and look terrible. Guess what? Next man up. Whether it's Garcia or it's Matoka, I'd rather have options, and I'd rather have good options too. I'd rather have options that are ready. So hopefully Matoka, like I said, he is being written off right now by the fan base. Not sure where the coaches stand because they haven't said anything about him. But hopefully Matoka, is ready also. I hope it's like a 3-way thing where it was a tough decision.
I hope it's that way too. And I mean, you also can't just look at his size. I mean, I realize you're saying he's 6'4", 220, but isn't Tyler Van Dyke like 6'2", 6'3", and he just clocked in coming into the spring at 225? So I mean, there's not much of a difference between the two.
Right, like I said, I want that competition to be so tight that at any given moment they could say, "Oh man, we're gonna go with this guy," but dang, we should go with this guy. But dang,
Oh yeah, you want it to be a hard decision. Absolutely, you want it to be, you've got an All-American player sitting behind your starter, but even though he's good enough to be an All-American, he's not good enough to beat out that starter, or he could be, but you want it to be a tough decision.
I wanted to feel like at the end of the day, they made that decision on a coin toss. That's how. So I know if one goes in the game and something were to happen, hopefully nothing happens, injury wise. But if he go out there and he's not looking too good, he's not getting nothing started, the next guy coming in is just as good. Maybe even better.
Well, and here's the thing too. And I think that's also, in my opinion, a very wrong line of thinking. You can't put it. Say your start quarterback goes down, you can't put in your backup for a series or two oh, he ain't got nothing going, let's swap him out. It don't work that way.
I know, but you already know. Sometimes you put guys in the game and they just can't get nothing going. And I mean, as a coach, I know it's a tough decision to make, but sometimes you really have to pull them out, let him go sit down and get his thoughts together or whatever, and put somebody else in. But nonetheless, like I said, I just want that competition to be so steep to where at any given moment, any one of those guys could have been the guy up.
I agree with what you just said as far as a starting player, because we saw Manny do that with Jaron in 2019. Sat his ass on the bench when he was fucking up and then ended up putting him back in the game. But you don't do that with a guy that has absolutely no starting experience and has got very little game experience. Because that destroys somebody's confidence.
All right, let me get your thoughts on Zach McCloud. Moving to defensive end from linebacker. Now, do you think Zach McCloud is the best fit for starting linebacker? Not linebacker. I'm sorry, starting defensive end.
I don't know. I would have to take a look at the other defensive ends we have. I think he would have been the perfect choice for starting middle linebacker because that's where he should be. They've had him playing out of position for 4 years, and I think that's why he hasn't developed like he should. Some people just naturally fit better into one position, and you got to learn to play them there sometimes if they just fit better into a third place.
Now, me personally, I don't put McCloud over Williams or Harvey. I don't put him over neither one of them.
I probably wouldn't as a starter because you're talking a guy that hasn't played defensive end versus guys who have.
And my issue is probably going to be they're probably going to start him because he's a 6-year senior now.
No, this is 5th year. No. Yeah, it would be his 6th year, wouldn't it?
Yep. So, I mean, this is last chance for him, basically. And you know how Manny is. When it comes down to that seniority, that clouded mind, we might get a McCloud starting at defensive end.
And, that's another myth that just won't seem to die that I've never seen it. I've never seen it one little bit. And it all started over Greg Rousseau, when even Greg Rousseau said he had a back injury. And that's why he didn't start the first 3 games. But anyway.
Yeah, I never weighed in on that. I mean, a lot of people have said,
I've never seen.
I've heard the conversations you're talking about. Manny didn't make the right decision. And look at Greg Rousseau, how he turned out. I've heard it plenty of times. I've never weighed in on it.
That's where a lot of it started, and I never agreed with it because, and don't get me wrong, I could change my mind on it if somebody were to show me evidence, but there's been nothing thrown out there, but this is just what I feel. Well, I don't give 2 shits how you feel. I want some evidence if I'm going to say this is what he's doing. You know what I mean?
Right. On the list, man, like I said, this is just spring. This is just 3 practice in. I'm not crowning anybody. I ain't seen nothing to crown anybody. If I give any thoughts and opinions, it's just based off what I've seen during the season and the little 2-minute clips that you could try to dissect as much as you can. From the 2-minute clips, like I say, Tyler Van Dyke rolls out and throws a pass. He rolls to the left and throws another pass. And that's all I got. Tyler Van Dyke looked good on 2 plays.
Yeah, and I said the same thing. I'm not saying which one's going to be better, McCloud or whoever the other defensive ends are, or Jake Garcia or Van Dyke. I just go by, okay, this is your, especially when you're talking about Garcia and Van Dyke, neither one of them have any game experience in college, but one has a year in college in the system. He has a decided advantage.
I'm gonna put the link in the chat again for anybody want to weigh in, thoughts and opinions. It's in the chat. But man, all I'm saying, to me, this season, everybody stays healthy, competition play out. I think sky's the limits for Miami. North Carolina, Alabama, as of right now, based on just last season and return for Miami versus them, position wise and depth, I think we have the edge over mostly all the teams on our schedule.
And I agree with that. And hell, I've said for the last several years, Miami should have won the Coastal every year they've been in it because they're the most talented team, but they haven't done it.
Yeah, I mean, that could factor down to a lot of things, but
that's why I have skepticism about it still. Until they show me they can do it, I'm not going to say you can do it.
Right. I'm with you on that 100%. But just looking at this right now, I'm just saying, man, I'm very optimistic. I'm very optimistic.
We're all optimistic every year. We were optimistic Manny's first year. What happened?
We ain't gonna talk about that.
we were optimistic in 2018 after going 10-3 the year before. What happened?
Hold on. Let me pull up. Let me see if I can pull up what's his name? Matoka's highlight.
Hey, and for the record, hey, I'm all for the underdog coming in and shining everybody else. I'd love to see Coach do it. Who doesn't like the underdog story there? But there's a reason Rudy was a movie and didn't happen in real life. That don't usually work out like that. And Rudy lined up offside too, and they didn't throw a flag on him.
This is from 2018. Y'all can see it on the screen. What's going on, Maiden Date?
What's poppin'? What's going on?
What's going on, boss man?
What's going on, bro?
All right, so we taking a look at Matoka right now. This is his highlight from 2018.
What does high school say?
Yeah. I'm looking for something to separate because right now, the
That's one thing he could do right there. That's one he could do. He could definitely get out the pocket and run.
And throw the ball nice.
He can throw the ball nice. My thing is that's the Northeast though, man. Let's just be real.
Okay, see, I like that pass right there. That was
Tyler Van Dyke from the Northeast. Peyton Matoka's from Mississippi, I think.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's my bad. Yeah, TVD is from the Northeast. Yeah, Matoka's from the South. Yeah, Matoka's from the South. Yeah. But I think like Slim was saying earlier, I think it was Slim, that Matoka is an Enos product, right?
Yeah, Matoka was what you call it, recruited by Enos. And Tyler Van Dyke also.
Yeah.
And that's something that we never hear about. Like whenever last year we talk about like the quarterbacks, even going to last year, I barely ever hear him say anything about Matoka. I always heard him say good things about TVD, but never really heard him talk too much about Matoka.
Well, Matoka was brought in as a project player. You know, they thought he had some untapped potential and see what he could develop into. I mean, a lot like Mac Jones the past year from Alabama. Mac Jones was a 3-star recruit. You know, brought in as a project player. You know, thought that he had some potential. See what they can make out of him. And I mean, you put some hellified receivers around him, Mac, pretty damn good.
Yeah, ain't lying about that, man. And that gave another year to develop Bryce Young because they said Bryce Young wasn't ready yet. He didn't really show too much in the spring, and he wasn't ready. So that was good for both of them.
Yeah, well, Bryce Young didn't even look good too much when he actually got into games this past year either. Yeah. That's something a lot of Alabama fans are worried about is, you know, whether or not Bryce Young's going to be a bust.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to be a bust or not. I mean, but you know, some kids, you know, it takes them like maybe a year.
It does.
Coming from high school and stuff like that. Some of them get it right off the bat.
And that's why I said earlier about Garcia. I'm not saying he can't do it, but his chances of it would be the exception, not the rule.
Right. The only reason that I think that I slightly edge Garcia as far as like being the quarterbacks or like to against Alabama is because that, you know, that's Rhett Lashley guy. You know, he's been going after him for the last 4 years. So I mean, you know, I kind of feel like that his offense is it's not going to be that hard for him to learn, obviously.
Well, I'm fairly certain Tyler Van Dyke probably already knows it.
Of course.
I mean, maybe not the nuances of it, but here's the thing. They didn't do a whole lot of just designed runs with Deriq King. Most of his runs were, you know, when the pocket collapsed around him, he had to take off.
Right.
So Lashley doesn't do a whole bunch of designed quarterback runs. So I'm not sure if he really has that much of an emphasis on a dual threat quarterback. Especially with the stacked backfield we have, it's really not needed.
Yeah. The problem, and a lot of times too, when Deriq King tucked and ran, is because when he was going through his reads, and as we've seen, when they put them spies on him, they put that spy and they go in that zone defense. He can't read those defenses fast enough, so he'll go to 1 or 2 reads and be like, "Oh, that's it, I'm out." It's not even so much the pass rush.
Yeah, and that was something I was worried about with him coming in. It takes some getting used to. Some people try and discount it, but there is a big difference between Power 5 football and non-Power 5 football.
Very true.
These are much better defenses than what he's used to playing against.
Yep.
I mean, even though nobody really considers the ACC the cream of the crop for powerhouses, especially the conference he came from. When with UCF, with Memphis, obviously what Rhett Lashley did at SMU. You're talking a conference full of teams that with explosive offenses and absolutely horrible defenses.
Horrible defenses, exactly. That's a quarterback's dream. That conference.
Yeah. So it doesn't surprise me that he struggled a little bit getting used to it. I expected it. But I expect improvement this year in it.
Yeah, see, and that's another thing. I expect him to get better, but the thing is, when we look at the teams, is when Venables, because Venables was the one that exposed it. When Venables put forgot what's buddy name, the linebacker they put him in the spy, and there you go, and then they was creating those that zone coverage. He didn't know what to do. He was like a deer in headlights.
Well, and then, what Venables did, Venables is really, really good at it. Venables is good at finding your weakness and making you try and win on your weakness.
Yeah.
And he saw that trying to hit the receivers outside the numbers was the weakness. We relied on the running backs out of the backfield. He relied a lot on Brevin Jordan. So he took away the short passes and the tight ends and said, you're going to beat us outside the numbers.
Exactly. And Mac Brown did the same thing. We went against North Carolina. Same thing. Same exact thing.
All Mac Brown did was really just run the ball. That's all he had to do. He took advantage of aggressive play calling. And and not even necessarily aggressive play. Aggressive play calling.
Over pursuit. I heard what you were saying earlier. We were over pursuing.
Well, and some of it was aggressive play calling too. It's not all.
Now this is from Jake Garcia.
Is this him at Grayson?
Yeah.
Okay. And see, this is another thing why I like Jake, man. Jake didn't sit back and say, you know what, I can't play football in California. He went to Georgia, man, and had success. That shows a lot of promise coming from him, man. To get out of his realm, go to a different state, and still find success and win the state title.
Well, let's keep it a little bit in perspective too. He had to go to Georgia, otherwise he wasn't going to play his senior year.
Yeah, of course. But I mean, how many other quarterbacks did that though?
That's true. And he also went to a perennial powerhouse in Georgia.
Of course, I give you that. But still, it could have went opposite of him. He could have went over there and failed.
Oh, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, I'm just saying I like that about the kid. I like that about him. He's not scared of competition. He's not scared.
Well, I think that's partially right, and I also think it's partially he wanted to keep his name in people's mouths, so he wanted to keep playing.
Very true.
That's kind of self-preservation kicking in as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Like I said, there are a lot of other quarterbacks that didn't do it.
No, they didn't, man. They just sat there and just say, you know what? I mean, if you know his story, his dad and his mom had to get a divorce, and they had to do all this stuff. And
they didn't get divorced. His parents were still together.
They got a separation.
Separation. Excuse me, my bad.
They had to get legally separated, and his dad. I think he's got some family in that part of Georgia, and that's basically they moved over there with them.
Yeah, not to mention Rush's name is being brought up because to get him over to Vedesta or whatever, that's where he went first.
He went to Valdosta first, yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't eligible to play there, so that's how he ended up going to Grayson. But his name was brought up in the whole, Rush, what you call it, paying players, paying rent.
I lived in South Georgia for a little while, and that dude's name was around back then. Like if I had stayed in Georgia instead of moving up to Tennessee, I would have played at Culver County under him.
Now Jake highlight was pretty short because basically he didn't have much time to play with the COVID-19 season. A lot of them games got cut.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, he did enough.
Now, I'm gonna pull up Tyler Van Dyke's hurdle also because, as you know, we ain't really got nothing for him.
And one thing I'm gonna say, as far as Rhett Lashley building his quarterback room, I'm hoping Rhett stays here another 2 years. I know I'm probably asking him too much, but I definitely hope he'll give us at least 2 more years. But so far, his quarterback room with him landing Jake Garcia and then possibly getting Ja'Cory Brown in 2 weeks, man. If only Lashley could stay here for 4 years, that quarterback room is going to be disgusting, man. Disgusting. The kind of talent he's going after and most likely obtaining, especially if we get Ja'Cory Brown. That's going to be something else. So
highlights being played, that's Tyler Van Dyke.
I mean, my biggest concern, though, is you can have a room full of 5-star quarterbacks. If the best we got is Mark Pope, D. Wiggins, they're fucked.
Man, I'm with you, bro.
Or at least I'll say this: what I've seen so far out of Mark Pope and D. Wiggins. Now, if I can get more consistency out of Pope, he'll be fine because he's shown he can make the catches. He's even made tough contested catches. I'll give him credit. He's done it, but he hasn't done it consistently.
And that's the funny thing about Pope, man. I watched him in high school, man. This kid is a tremendous talent, man. I just don't understand what happened, to be honest. I mean, I understand the college game is obviously it's a bigger step up, but I mean, come on, man.
You got to look at how many. You got to look at how many coaches putting their hand in the pot.
Yeah,
that's true too.
And I think that factor. That's why I tend to put less of that situation on the wide receivers, and I want to see what he can do with 2 years with the same coaches in a stable system. Because when you got no consistency, I mean, that can breed bad habits in your players too. Because when they've got no consistency, they can't stay consistent.
Yeah. And I know a partial blame goes to Ron Duggins, when obviously with Rick here, we was a running team, and our main focus was to teach our wide receivers to block to make sure the running backs was able to go ahead and do their thing. So that obviously didn't help with Pope or Wiggins' development. And then we went to Stubblefield, which he was in and out for a year, and then now we're in Rob Likens. So I mean, gotta look at that as well.
Well, and like what Duggins was trying to teach him, I mean, honestly, it's still even the basis for Alabama's system. Look at them; they still run the ball more than they pass it.
Yeah. I mean, a little less now, but I mean, yeah, they still block.
But yeah, they're not the Mark Ingram run the ball 45, 50 times a game anymore. But they still rely very heavily on the run game, especially to set up the pass game.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely. I mean, Devontae Smith is not blocking nobody. He's 150-something pounds, but.
I mean, I've seen him out there throwing blocks. I see
I know he
Jalen Waddle out there throwing blocks.
Yeah. Devontae Smith is the same size as Pope, man. Them boys are twigs, but they two different players, boy.
And that's something that I've wondered about too. Everybody talk about this great strength and conditioning coach we have. How come Perry and Pope get no better?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I mean, you gotta. Some people can't. They just can't get no weight on them.
I mean, seeing the recent pictures from the spring practice, Pope looked like he actually put on a couple pounds of muscle. He looks a little bit bigger than he was last season. So I don't know how much work he's been putting in, but he definitely don't look the same as last season.
Yeah, because I mean, from watching N'Kosi Perry, he's got more lean, but he didn't gain weight. He's got more lean muscle wise, but he didn't gain weight.
But man, these guys got to work on their hands, man. Like Slim was saying, bro. I mean, if we go back last season and look at how many drop touchdowns we had, I mean, this could have been a whole different season for us. I mean, I know, it didn't finish off like how we wanted to, but if we just think about all the drops and we turn all those drops into receptions, we don't know. A lot of those drives could end up being 3 or 7, and we have no idea.
Now, somebody had broke down the drops, and I think Mark, they had in between both of them like 5 or 6.
I don't even think you have to look at the whole season. You can just look at the bowl
game. Not the whole season, the bowl game.
Yeah.
That's just the bowl game.
And I mean, for all the people that don't like Uncle Lou for all the shit he talks, he even agreed with me when I called in and said that if they'd have just simply caught those passes, Miami would have won that game by 3 touchdowns easy.
True.
Yo, hold on. Dang.
Shout out to Kilo, man.
Yo.
Another undone.
Kilo, man. You got to cut it out, man. Dang. Kilo just dropped another
200 on the day, man. Shout out to Hurricane Kilo, bro.
I blame it on the alcohol. The hurricane stimulus. Oh man, stop drinking, bro. Stop drinking.
My boy got that stimmy pack, man. He ain't playing.
Hey, appreciate it though, man. But stop drinking, man. Hey, Hurricane Kilo with the $100 donation. Hey, appreciate that, boss. Dang, that's 200 on the night, bro. Hey, stop drinking, man.
I starting to think I got in the wrong line of business. I might need to start making YouTube videos.
Appreciate that, bro. That's a touchdown for the channel. Oh man, as you
Shout
know,
out boy Kilo, bro.
it's all about the you, baby. Dang,
What's up?
man.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna say, hopefully these receivers, man. Hopefully we see something different out of them. I mean, there's a lot of the younger guys are coming up. You got the new kids coming in, Rashad Smith, Romilla Brinson. I mean, we can't if we come out here and it's Pope and Wiggins. I don't know what's going on, to be honest with you. Unless they show us something totally different than what they have since they've been here. But I don't see us having all these younger guys bringing in Rambo and.
I could see a narrative being played out too. If Pope and Wiggins come out catching everything, putting up great numbers, touchdowns, you name it, yardage, everybody's gonna say, "Dang, where was this last year?"
Yeah. But that's what we want to see, man.
That's what they're gonna be like. They've been holding out on us.
No, they ain't been holding out. That just shows you what consistency in your program will do, and maybe that'll stop people from hollering fire everybody every time we lose a game.
I don't know if y'all paid attention when Mike Harley was having this little interview, and he said that one of the main reasons he came back was, all these guys, all these receivers. I think he was taking a dig at Jeff Thomas, to be honest, when he was saying that all these guys, they become a junior and they go to the draft and they leave all these young guys to drown. And he was just like, that's what I'm here for. I'm gonna make sure that I take all of them under my wing and I'm gonna try to push and pursue them, because he was just like, there's never no senior receivers here. Like, these guys are usually gone.
Bless you and your family too, Lewis. Appreciate you, boss.
I'm not even gonna lie. I think Mike Harley capped like a motherfucker. I think Mike Harley knew his ass was going to get drafted, so he came back.
I don't know, man. I mean, you could look at it like that, but I mean, at the same time, this is the same guy that called out all these receivers. So I mean, is he cap or is he telling the truth?
I think Harley coming back is a good thing for him. I think he got a better shot of stacking up.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, he ain't tell a lie. I mean, Jeff Thomas left as a junior. Where's he at right now?
Yeah,
he's trying to make a practice roster.
Yeah, I think he could look at Jeff Thomas as an example. I could come back and do better things and get better chance at being drafted. Because I mean, Jeff Thomas didn't even get drafted at all.
Well, that's because what he wanted, that attitude problem that came with Jeff Thomas. So.
And I mean, even though Mike had a good season for us receiving wise, he was our best receiver. But when you look at the nation, he's not stacking up in any of those top lists.
Right. Now, I think a good example to the point you're trying to make is guys like Kendrick Norton, guys that decided to leave early, not come back for their senior year. We're okay in the 5th, 6th, 7th round.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, you're in the NFL, you're making a little money, but you're not making big waves and big money.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
You deserve better to come back and get more experience.
That's true. But it's just especially at that receiver position, man. We don't really have no seniority there. It's like, I mean, it's pretty much who was the last one? With Braxton? Braxton probably was the last,
I'd say Philip Dorsett before him.
Philip Dorsett, exactly. See what I'm saying? Look at that gap.
Yeah,
that's a pretty big gap.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, if Mike is doing this, obviously for him to get better and get his draft stock up, that's great. But at the same time, I mean, he's taking on that leadership role, and there is going to be a senior in there that they can lean on in that wide receiver room. So I mean, I'm happy to see that. That's why I think the wide receiver room is going to step up. I mean, I don't know so much as Pope and Wiggins. We're going to have to wait and see. But as far as everybody else, though, I kind of feel I got some optimism that they're going to do well.
You know what? I mean, I've got optimism for the wide receiver room in general. Mm-hmm. I mean, not necessarily, like I said, Pope and Wiggins, they're going to have to show me But I expected Jeremiah Payton to have a lot better season last year. Granted, he caught COVID twice and had to sit out a lot. That ain't really on him.
Yeah.
But I think Jeremiah Payton and Keyshawn Smith are going to be. A lot of people focus on the freshmen, the shiny new toys, the newest recruits there.
Right.
But these guys are now a year or two in the system.
Yep.
To me,
Michael Redding too. You got Redding as well. You got Redding, Smith, and
Michael Redding.
So I mean, I'm hoping to see them boys turn up. To be honest with you, I'm hoping to see a step up over there with that wide receiver core because we need it drastically.
I'm telling you, man. My only issue is not being able to see it. That's my only issue.
But I'm telling you something, and that's what I was telling CJ on this little video he did earlier. I was like, I know, practice warriors and all that stuff, and then the spring game might not mean nothing, but that spring game is going to tell us a lot because we're going to see a lot of bad habits from certain players in certain positions. Because I don't care how soft you take it, certain people they're going to show their bad habits to you.
Yeah,
we definitely going to see.
And us as fans, when we see it, we're going to talk about it.
Exactly.
I mean, coaches might not, air a player out or call a player out for, half the stuff they did. But as fans, when we see it, we're gonna draw attention to that. Okay, this guy ain't turning his head around. He need to get that together. Seen him do it 4 or 5 plays, during the game where we could have, busted coverages and stuff like that. We gonna see it all and we gonna make our evaluations.
Right.
Whoa. Time out.
Now, I think that could be
time out. Watch this. Watch this. Watch the sideline right here.
I can't watch nothing. I'm driving.
Well, you guys check.
Oh, what a crackback. Dang.
Whoa. One more time.
Nasty. That was nasty.
Man, one more time for the people in the back. God.
Jesus.
Y'all check this area right here.
That kind of block right there get you kicked out. You out for the game.
God. This dude finna get lit.
Oh my God. Yeah. You can't do that. That's illegal.
Oh, he got up like a beast too, man.
That's illegal.
He looking for his helmet. Oh my God.
Yeah, that was nasty. That was disgusting.
Can't do that no more.
Nah, you can't do that no more. Yo, that's suspended.
Now, here's a thing I noticed too. We as fans also we make a mountain out of a molehill when it comes to mistakes by players too. I mean, busted coverages happen in the NFL, and that's the elite of the league.
Now, my difference is with busting coverage. If you see it once or twice, then all right. But when you see it consistently, that's the issue.
Now,
somebody ain't paying attention in practice or ain't paying attention in the film room or just don't know the playbook.
Well, sometimes it's just two players think they're supposed to be covering the same guy. One of them is supposed to pick up somebody else. Sometimes players get lost in coverage.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
but like
why
I said,
I prefer a man-to-man instead of a zone myself.
Yes. Thank God Blake Baker is gone because we had a lot of these kids doing too much thinking out there, man. That's why a lot of kids was out of position. A lot of young men were out of position.
Well, see, here's
the
thing.
They were thinking too much too.
They really only had the linebackers playing zone. All the corners and safeties were basically manned up.
I want to see if we're going
10, 15 yards though, Slim. A lot of time we wasn't even 5 yards off the receivers. 10, 15 yards back.
That I agree with you 100%.
I don't understand that.
I don't like a soft man, but that's just my personal preference.
Me either.
Yeah,
but that's another thing too. Our South Florida, I'm sorry, T2. A lot of our South Florida kids that we get, they don't play that kind. They don't play soft man. So how you know?
Taz, hold on, Taz. He need a whole jug of milk.
Yeah, that block.
Also, I'm not a fan of. Well, this is the kind of football they play in South Florida. Because listen, I mean, wherever you decide to go to college, you're going to play in whatever system they run, whether it's what you're from South Florida or not. And if you go to the league, you're going to play in whatever system they run, no matter what they run in South Florida.
Yeah,
I'm not a big fan of that argument. I don't think it holds a lot of water.
Yeah, but at the same time though, when you coming up from Pop Warner, Pee Wee up into high school football, and you never ran no coverage like that, you don't even know. You don't even have to think. Everything is based off of instinct. Especially when it comes to corners down there, it's all instinctive. And then now you're saying, oh look, you got to think, you got to read, you got to pray, you got to release. That's a lot. That's a lot. Not saying that it's an excuse, but I'm just saying we're not playing these guys like Ivy. Why is DJ Ivy or Al Blades sometimes coming off 10, 15 yards off their man?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of myself. Now here's the thing too, and I think he's probably one of the best corners to ever play the game, and I completely agree with it. Okay. Deion Sanders has said it a million times. Corner's gotta have a short memory because you're gonna get beat.
Facts.
It just happens.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So we as fans got to quit making such a big deal out of a corner getting beat.
Yeah.
I mean, outside of obvious plays like DJ Ivy in that Georgia Tech game on the fake punt, because I like to ride on that one too, but that's mostly out of a joke. But we got to people make mistakes, people get beat. You got to learn to move on past it.
Now, see this dude right here, number 5. I'm coaching. I'll be pissed at this dude. Now watch the play. Pass the ball out. You see, look at him. Oh, now he decides he wants to get in on the play.
Because he just realized he know that they're gonna show him that in film.
I'm like, you just watching them on the other sideline. I mean, once the ball get out there, you got to get over there.
I harp on it a lot about corners turning their heads around, but as much as I don't like it, it's not a point of emphasis in college football. I mean, the best defenses in college football, a lot of times players just aren't turning their heads around because that's not something they focus on in college. Because you don't get flagged for not turning your head around.
Hey, I tell you, one person never turned his head around. He had a pretty good career until he got hurt here. Malik Young. Malik Young never turned his head around. But guess what, though? He was a great corner while he was here.
I don't know. Malik got a lot of interceptions. So, I mean, he did.
He did get a lot of interceptions. But if you go back and watch his film, he could have had more. But he don't turn his head around. He plays the player more so than the ball. I mean, the times he got a pick, he was facing up, and he saw the ball coming to him.
Like I said, I don't like it, but that's a lot of times that's what they teach them to do in college.
Yeah, of course, but it's not a deal breaker though. So that's what I'm saying. I mean, he still was a good corner, but a problem too is with a lot of our fan base. You know, they've been giving crap to the corners so much, but our other corners, and we go to Bandy, Young, Mike Jack, a lot of them got burnt because they played face up. And they were like, I'm going to get beat sometimes. But a lot of times, they're going to make plays.
Not just that. Bandy was what, 5'7"? He going to get beat.
Exactly.
That's just when you're 5'7" on a 6'2" receiver, there's just some of them ain't a damn thing Bandy can do anything about.
That you can do. But I mean, we took that because we know what Bandy's going to give us on the other end.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? But now it's like now we all want to be like, oh man, these corners are trash, they garbage. Nah, it's we're playing them too far back.
And I do the same thing. Like I bitched about it after the bowl game. There were 5 easy interceptions that they did just simply look back over their shoulder.
Yep.
But even I, sometimes getting mad about a game, even I forget about it that's not something they focus on in college as much as I want them to.
Now, speaking of corners, I got the list here. Like I said, this has not been updated. There are some more players that should be put on this list, but they probably updated after the summer. But you got Tariq Stevenson, Al Blaze Jr., DJ Ivy, Couch, Clark, Isaiah Dunson, and those other two practically never heard of. They're redshirt freshmen. Okay. So we got quite a few guys. I mean, we do need some more depth.
I think they've got a couple more coming in the summer too, don't they?
Yeah.
Because not everybody's on campus yet. Some guys are coming in the summer.
Maiden Day, it says device not connect. You got to turn your mic and you got to turn your mic and camera on, or just turn your mic on. It won't let me add you until you turn one of them devices on. You probably got to come out. Oh, there you go. Okay, there you go.
Yo, my bad.
Okay, so Tariq Stevenson, Al Blaze, DJ Ivy, Couch, Clark, Dunson. So we got six cornerbacks.
Yo.
Okay, and if I'm not mistaken, I heard Mike Rump talking about it last year. You want about 7 or 8 on scholarship.
Yeah, the good number would be 8.
That's what we have right now?
Yeah,
no, we got
have
6 right now.
Okay.
That's not including whoever's coming in the summer yet either.
Now you got to look at.
Yeah, we definitely need to hit the portal though.
Isaiah Dunson.
So Corey Couch today was saying that one of the interviewers, one of the media members asked about Marcus Clark and Isaiah Dunson, and he said that they're doing a good job. It looks like they understand the game more and stuff like that from last year. So I mean, I don't take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah, it's just like with the Avery Huff situation.
But we definitely need some more depth out there.
Yeah, right now we got six guys that'll play. Most likely, to me, I think Stevenson's gonna start, and I think the battle's gonna be Al Blade, DJ Ivy, and Couch and Clark.
I don't think there's much of a battle there. I think Al Blade's probably gonna run away with it.
But you got to look at Al Blaze. Al Blaze got to work his way back in because he just came off that heart condition.
Oh, I know.
So right now, I mean, with that, I mean he's back to practice, but he's not 100% all the way in. They're not, they're working him back in there slowly.
But I mean, we saw it last year on a consistent basis. Al Blades was the best quarterback we had on that field.
Yeah. Al Blaze, and he played physical.
Well, I mean, look at who taught him. He had an uncle that was a corner and an uncle that was a wide receiver to teach him.
So I think Stevenson start, and if it goes as the way you say, Slim, it'll be Steven and Al Blades, and then Ivy and Couch. I think probably will be the first rotation in.
Yeah, which they'll see plenty of game time, just because they swap out corners a lot, and not even that,
big time.
Depending on the coverage, if you're setting up in a dime or a nickel, you're throwing another corner or another 2 corners out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's true.
Man, 3 practices in, man. Like I said, man, I just can't wait till April 17th. I want to see some. I know Kane's All Access going to keep put out the little 2-minute videos and stuff, so we'll get excited every time we see a little glimpse.
I heard something today that the spring game is going to be televised.
Yeah. ACC Network. So if you don't got ACC Network, it won't even matter.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
I got it. I ain't worried about it.
But I was going to tell y'all, one big improvement that we're going to see this year is with the safety play. I felt, to be honest with you, Banda is not a great teacher at all. He could talk a good game. You know what I'm saying? He's a good player coach and get you excited and rah, rah, rah. But teaching, nah.
He's
never.
A hype man.
He's never been a good teacher at all. And that's something you could tell. You could tell from last year. Look at our safeties. I mean, yeah, we get on Amari Carter for targeting and so on and so forth. But look how many times our safeties was out of position. How many times our safeties didn't know either to come up in the box or stay in the back. And a lot of times our corners got beat with nobody over the top. And if you look at it, it's also poor communication.
I'm not going to say you're necessarily wrong, but I will point this out. For as good as Bubba Bolden is, he tries to do too much.
Yep.
Nah,
And-
I can say this about Bolden. The first half of the season, he was on fire.
Yeah.
And then the second half is like he just went away.
Like I said, he was trying to do too much. He was trying to. He thought he had to step up and do more to make defense a little better, and that's when you started to see, no safety help over the top because he's off trying to do something else. And I mean, I'm great for his enthusiasm. I'm all for that, but sometimes you end up getting caught out of position.
Now, safety-wise, not adding the guys that are coming in. You got Amari Carter, Avantae Williams, Jalen Hurl, Bubba Bolden, Cameron Kitchens, Keyshawn Washington, Gervin Hall, Brian Balaam, Andrew Burns.
Hey, T2, hold on one second. Let me answer some in the chat. Hey, Lewis. Yeah, Al Blade's heart condition did come from COVID. A lot of people that's been catching COVID. One of the main things that's happening is they're getting inflammation in their heart, and they can't keep it just keeps filling up with inflammation. So yeah, it was from COVID, but he's good now.
I'm gonna say this about the safeties. I've seen a lot of people have a lot to say about this, and I don't care who gets mad. It's my opinion. Amari Carter needs to be linebacker.
Yeah,
we talked about that earlier.
Did y'all see him? Did y'all see him in his press conference? He talking about he gained more weight. What you doing gaining more weight if you're supposed to be playing safety?
Exactly.
I didn't understand that. He was like, "Yeah, I got bigger." Like what?
And I think that's the problem you're going to end up seeing out of Williams playing safety is he's going to grow into his frame eventually. What is he, 6'5", 6'6" already?
Yeah.
Yep.
He's going to grow into that frame eventually, and he's going to end up getting too big or have a lot of trouble keeping the weight off to stay at safety.
Hey, Slim, we know he's coming down in the box, man. Come on. We all know that. Ain't no way he's staying back there.
And like I said, I think Amari Carter, especially with how Manny likes to blitz linebackers, I think that could be really beneficial to put together one hell of a highlight reel for Amari Carter.
Yeah.
I think
he can strive.
If Amari wants to be NFL, I think he better go down to linebacker.
Now, for all the crap thing, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say this is my thing. If you over here trying to get better, right? Obviously, you wouldn't be putting more weight on. Like he said, he put on like 10, 15 pounds of muscle, so he's even bigger. Like, why would you be doing that to play safety? You already big as it is.
I mean, if you can do it and maintain your speed, great. But at some point, you ain't gonna be able to do that.
Exactly.
Especially with an NFL career.
That's what I'm saying.
You got to keep up with speedy wide receivers.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why I feel they're gonna end up putting him in that box, man. Watch, they're gonna end up putting him out there. He's probably gonna be in a striker position, but down there, he's not gonna be over the top.
Now, for the people that wanted to complain about all the targeting calls he gets, listen, they're all legit as far as the targeting rule goes. The problem is, just like with every other rule in football, coaches are teaching their players to take advantage of it. So they're teaching their wide receivers, drop your head down, draw the penalty. Yep. They're teaching running backs, drop your head down, draw the penalty.
Yep. Drop your head down, get their best guys off the field.
Yep. That's exactly what they're
doing. Taking advantage of a rule is all they're doing. And I guarantee you, Manny's telling the wide receivers and the running backs the same damn thing.
Yeah, of course.
It's a dirty game, man.
Yeah, definitely, man.
I mean, a targeting that could cost you the game right there because your best player might be sitting on the sideline now.
Listen, perfect example. Notre Dame and Clemson. Clemson was missing all three of their starting linebackers. That is the only reason Notre Dame won that game during the season.
Yeah, man. Oh, man, we're going on 10 o'clock, man. We've been off about 3 hours, man. I'm going to wrap this thing up.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, one thing I was going to say is, man, that I'm happy that T-Rob took over the safeties. because I feel that it's going to be a night and day difference. People are going to actually see a coach that can truly teach safeties, not a bartender, but a real coach that knows how to teach DBs. And he's going to put, and he got a good locker room right now with safeties. So, I mean, he's going to be able to do some work, and I expect to see some a night and day difference from the safety position with T-Rob there.
As long as they don't make him defensive coordinator, I'm all right. I don't care what he does.
I don't think they're going to make him. I think a lot of us feel that Shoop is going to end up being the DC here, possibly. I think this is just a holding because we couldn't give him a coaching title. I feel that Manny's just doing this for the 1 year, and he's going to end up relinquishing that over to Shoop. I mean, in my mind, that's what I feel is going to happen. Especially when you keep hearing all these players mentioning Shoop. Oh, yeah, I was working with Shoop. Yeah, he was showing me this, showing me that, scheme, da-da-da, breaking down. You're already hearing it from the players. I mean,
yeah, I got that same hunch, too.
Yeah,
I don't think he'll be the defensive coordinator. I think he'll stay in the position that he's in. But I do think you're right. After this year, Manny's going to hire a defensive coordinator, which I think he should have done anyway.
Right.
I'll tell you one thing. If Manny comes out calling these plays and we look absolutely gorgeous on that field, they ain't going to want him to give up that.
Listen, I'm going to tell y'all something. And this is something this is something great for Manny. That's why I feel this is like win or go home for Manny. Not saying win as far as national title, all that stuff, but I'm talking about for him as, here at the University of Miami. He actually has somebody that's going to be up in the booth that's already working on plays and schemes and all that stuff. He actually has somebody he can rely on. All he has to do is make the play call. Yep. You get what I'm saying? All the hard work is going to be done by Shoop.
Yeah, Shoop going to be
wait,
the one that making game plan for teams that's 3 games down the line. So he gives Manny enough time to develop the guys on the field.
But here's the thing. As far as that whole analyst title goes, no, he's not allowed to be up in the box during the game. That's NCAA rules. You're only allowed to have so many coaches.
You see that, Slim? I don't know if you can see it on the screen. Morris Jones says, make Slim a regular on the show, T2Y.
I appreciate that. I'm going to be honest. I appreciate that because most of the time, the comments are talking about what a dumbass they think I am. I haven't changed my stance on nothing, and ain't nobody proved me wrong yet.
Man, that's why I always say, Slim, you're more than welcome to come anytime because you give a different perspective on everything.
Hey, but
I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying I'm wrong. I'm not saying anything anybody says is wrong.
Hey, well, Slim, let me ask you a question though, and this is me putting on my little hat right now.
Yes, sir.
If Manny brung Shoop in here, right, and he's doing all this work, right, he's developing relationship with the players, he's doing all this stuff. You don't think that Manny's going to give him the DC job?
I don't, because here's the thing.
You think we can't afford him?
It's not even that. Shoop is pushing 70 years old. I don't think Shoop's too far from retirement.
Okay.
I think you have to figure Manny is at the max number of coaches he's allowed to have. You're only allowed to have so many coaches by NCAA regulation. So right now he couldn't hire him as a defensive coordinator because that's a coaching position. Somebody would have to go.
Okay.
So it's got to be one of these guys.
But let me ask you.
We got to keep in mind too, this coaching staff is not going to be together too long.
All right, so check me out. I'm also putting my hat on, right? So Packy, right? He's coming in the final year of his contract, right? He's been the special team coach, right? He's been special team coach. He's been the outside linebacker striker coach, and now he's the inside linebacker coach. And he was an analyst first, right? I mean, we can pretty much say that Packy.
No, Packy wasn't an analyst first. He's been on Manny's staff since Manny was the DC.
But I'm talking as far as a coach, though. I'm talking about at first he was on the staff. Then he became the special team. He was a special teams coach, right? He was coaching special teams and
well, they added that on top of him, which I think is a mistake. I think you need a dedicated special team.
Right, but hear me out though. So special teams, strike outside linebacker. Now he's coaching the inside linebacker. Final year of his contract. What does that tell me? That tell me that he's going to end up getting a job out of here. I don't think Packy's coming back. Packy's going to be set up for a job.
Yeah, Packy's built a resume.
Packy's built a resume.
From everything you just said, there's a team out there that probably will take him as a defensive coordinator.
So Packy already built a resume. So I mean,
that's a definite possibility that could happen.
That's just me with my hat on. That's all.
Yeah.
Or he could even go somewhere else as a linebacking coach and get paid more too.
I mean, but see, here's the thing too. We as fans always worry about what if this coach leaves, what if that coach leaves. There was a whole bunch of talk about Rhett Lashley his name being thrown in the hat for head coaching job.
Right.
But all those head coaching jobs, they announced who they've called, who they've talked to, who turned them down. Nobody actually called Rhett Lashley for a job. The only people that threw his name into the ring was the media. That's it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Shit, the only person that got
but that's the talk every season
was Banda and Blake Baker.
I mean, yeah, that was the talk. But my point is, nobody actually called him to even ask him if he wanted to talk about it. Because
we know that offense.
Now, see, if the offense this year had like blown out numbers, I'm talking about crazy numbers, height. Oh man, he would have got some calls.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
it's his first year down here.
I called it last year. I said that this offense is not going to be what people think in 1 year. People got to learn to have,
especially with no spring.
And that's another thing too.
We had no spring with nobody.
If he comes out this season with the offense and he put up like crazy numbers, his name gonna be out there.
His name will be out there. But my whole point was this year, and for all the talk of his name being out there, nobody actually called it.
Yeah, that's true.
Listen, Tom Brady coming into Tampa Bay and all those other players coming into Tampa Bay with a screwed up offseason like that and them winning a Super Bowl, that is a freak of fucking nature, okay? That is a 1 in a million shot.
Yep.
So to think that Rhett Lashley could have done it even with a normal offseason is a 1 in a million shot.
R.I.P. to the Saints season. Jameis Winston got a year contract.
You mean the Aints? Come on, they call them the Aints,
but
bro.
no, they extended Taysom Hill too now, so it ain't set in stone that
they paid 2 quarterbacks.
What I see them doing is basically, if you don't work, maybe you will.
Oh yeah. Now Taysom Hill definitely got a lot more money than Jameis did, but
he definitely did.
I don't even, as a Tampa fan, I don't put all that on Jameis. If you notice, any quarterback in Bruce Arians' system over the years, except for Tom Brady this past year, threw a ton of interceptions.
Yep.
What does Bruce Arians do? He throws the ball 50 times a game.
Now, what I would look out for, if Jameis do start for the Saints and he plays the whole season, I'm gonna look out for them touchdown versus interception. I'm gonna try to see if maybe it was Tampa Bay and not him.
I tell you what, he finally, it took him his whole life to get corrective eye surgery, and he finally did.
I'd be willing to put a bet down now that if Jameis starts the entire season for the Saints, he will have a lot better touchdown interception ratio under that system in New Orleans versus Bruce Arians' system.
Yeah. He's also not squinting.
So he threw 30 at Tampa, right?
Yeah, this past year he threw 30 interceptions and 33 touchdowns.
Okay, so what you're saying is if he goes into the Saints system, he might throw 29.
Hey, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, man. I think a lot of those interceptions has to do that his vision was terrible. I mean, he's squinting everywhere.
I mean, his vision's
he
bad.
Can't see.
But
now I'm saying he finally got surgery now. He got credit surgery. He actually got 20/20 vision.
Perfect example. Look at Tampa Bay's losses to New Orleans. Okay, Bruce Arians had him throwing the ball 45 times a game. And
that's not going to cut it. He's not that kind of quarterback.
No, he's not that kind of quarterback. But you're going to have. I mean, everybody saw it with Brett Favre. He wants to throw the ball all over the place. Yeah, you're going to throw a lot of touchdowns, but you're going to throw more interceptions too.
Yep.
Man, I'm telling you, I still remember that one game we played against Winston, and I saw this joker squinting, hard down squinting over on the sideline. We lost that game. I was so pissed. I was like, God damn, we just lost to a blind quarterback.
I don't know what took him so long to get his vision fixed either.
I ain't going to say he's blind because he still threw for over 5,000 yards this last year in Tampa.
Yeah, he did.
All I'm saying is, from watching the game back then, I see this guy look over to the sideline. He's squinting, and I'm like, dang.
Don't get me wrong. I would love to put it all on old crab leg because not even because he's from Florida State. Because listen, Tampa Bay had Deriq Brooks, and that was one of my favorite players.
Yeah, Deborah's a beast.
Yeah. So like I said, I'd love to put it on Jameis because I couldn't stand him. But every quarterback in Bruce Arians' system, with the exception of Tom Brady, has a buttload of interceptions. But with Tom Brady in that system, he was throwing to. You don't see him throw to the tight ends in Bruce Arians' system, but Tom Brady
That's
was.
true too.
You don't see him throwing to the running backs in Bruce Arians' system, but Tom Brady was.
Mm-hmm.
You had a lot of Tom Brady influence on that offense. That's why this past season turned out like it did.
Yeah.
You got to kind of keep Bruce Arians in check a little bit.
Hey man, if Winston could cut that 30 down to 15, boy, he gonna end up being an all-pro quarterback. To be honest.
Oh, he would most definitely. Listen, I mean, everybody when Tom Brady come in, what did most people, as far as in the media say? There wasn't a whole lot of shock and surprise there that Tom Brady went to Tampa Bay because everybody saw it. That was a playoff caliber team, except for Jameis Winston's 30 interceptions.
Exactly.
That offense, the offense was a killer, even with his 30 interceptions.
And I mean, for all the talk the offense gets, I mean, what was the key contributor to them winning the Super Bowl and getting through the playoffs? That defense.
That defense is insane. And that whole defense is returning next year. Oh, boy. Tampa going back to the Super Bowl.
Hey, and guess
Tampa
who they're
going back to the bowl.
Hey, guess who they're talking about signing to a Legends contract?
Who?
Richard Sherman.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Oh, man.
That's crazy,
Richard Sherman said, I could be as good once as I ever was.
Man, you don't even need him to be the Richard Sherman of old over there. That defense is already set.
Hell, they're talking about putting 2 people on Legends contract.
All right, man. I got to cut this short. I ain't eat no dinner or nothing. I still got to get ready for work in the morning stuff. So, I mean,
still at work. What you talking about?
I'll be live again on Saturday.
Hey, you gonna do that Jackson State game, bro? On Sunday?
Nah, that one's gonna be on ESPN. That's gonna be live TV.
Oh, yeah, that game gonna be crazy.
Yeah, Deion Sanders been getting the ratings and everything, so they're not putting them on ESPN Plus or ESPN 3. They putting them on national TV.
Hey, I watched that Grambling game. That was crazy. Yeah.
Man, that was a good game. But
I was in Atlanta Blue and all them. I got to watch part of that game.
With all the attention around that team now, it's like they're getting national televised.
I tell you what, that Sunday game against Alabama State, though, boy, that's gonna be. If he can go out there and get that W, boy, that's gonna be crazy, bro.
Hey, I can go ahead and tell you, we might as well enjoy whooping up on Florida State right now because in 4 years, when Deion's contract and Mike Norvell's contract is up, guess who's going to be the next Florida State head coach?
Oh, we already know what's going to happen, man.
Now, what I'm hoping for, Florida State get towed down this season. I'm hoping they get towed down this season. They get Norvell up out there and have to start all over again.
They're not gonna get Norvell up out of there, man.
I don't think they can afford to right now, but man, it would be nice to see.
I'm gonna tell you something, bro. And this is another thing we haven't even seen. Like Jackson State still haven't got like his son is still not playing yet. His son plays in the fall. So when Shador comes out there, it's gonna be lights out for Jackson State. Ain't no he's possibly the best quarterback in that whole conference, or he actually is. So we haven't even seen Jackson State with his son yet at quarterback.
Man, I'm telling you, Dion is doing.
He gonna stay there as long as his son stay there. Once his son leaves, he gone. Once his son go to the league, he out of there. That's how I feel. So what? That's 3 years. Leave as a junior.
Let me put this on the screen real quick. Oh, what did I just do?
He'll probably leave as a junior. Because let's be real, Jackson State ain't going to have the money to keep Dion. Especially if he goes over there and wins, man, we already know D1's going to be calling Dion.
All right, so this Saturday, I'm going to start at 1. Yeah, but one of these ESPN Plus games, I'll go live and we'll watch on them. See the Jackson State game? That's on ESPN 2.
Oh wow, they're on ESPN 2 now. Oh
yeah, that's what I'm saying. They getting that attention. So if I were to try to live stream that one, oh man, they'll shut me down. I probably won't be on here for about 2-3 months.
Oh man. Yeah, that's gonna be the game right there. That's probably the game of the week. Jackson State, Alabama State.
And to me, they cramp all their games. You got about what, maybe 6, 7, 8, 9 games at one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I want to do North Dakota State.
Oh, that rivalry game.
Yeah, North Dakota and North Dakota State. I might do that one at 3:30.
Yeah,
I might do that one at 3:30. Yeah, I might do that one. But I'm gonna still put it in. I'm gonna take a picture of it.
Yeah.
What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pull it up on my phone and do a screenshot of it so it'll look more clear, and just let everybody else vote on it while we watch. But if I had to pick, because I know this game will get a lot of attention, it's the North Dakota State. With that being a rival, and North Dakota got a big fan base, so they've been winning.
Hey, I was going to say, did you watch that Jackson State game last weekend?
Oh, I didn't get to see it.
Oh my god!
But I saw the highlights afterwards. I was like,
that game was embarrassing, bro.
It could have been worse. I'm like, dang, he connected with that one receiver like 3 times.
Bro, it could have been worse. And that was supposed to be a challenge. I don't know, man. Bro.
But I'm gonna get out of here, man.
All right, bro.
Appreciate everybody for coming through, man. If y'all ain't hit the like button, hit the like button. Thank everybody. Appreciate you, Kilo, and everybody that donated. Y'all have a good night, man. We'll whatever information I get, I'll make some videos, put them out, stuff like that. And I guess with it being the off season stuff, I'll try to make some little funny videos also too, with try to keep you guys entertained a little bit.
Oh, hey, I was gonna say something before we go, because some people were talking about it earlier in the chat with Jake Garcia. So Jake Garcia, Red Lashley basically said that his foot injury wasn't really a big deal, and for the first week of practice, he was gonna be limited, but going into the second week, so going next week, he full on from here on out. So there's no worry about him if he's gonna be all right or he's not all right. He's gonna be good to go next week. Full.
So Jake might be ready to go.
Jake will be ready to go and practice next week. Full. He got full duty next week. This week he wanted to. Rhett just wanted to see how he how he looked and stuff like that. But it looks like.
Listen, even once they get into doing 7-on-7s and when they get into full pads, them quarterbacks still gonna be wearing red jerseys and they ain't gonna be allowed to hit them.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, we can't even afford for them to hit them right now.
Hell no.
I'll be Paragon, Tate Martell.
We can't afford the corners to hit nobody either. We can't afford none of our corners to hit nobody either.
Yeah, I think Tate Martell is going to UNLV.
And see, that's exactly why I disagree with CJ when he says, "Oh, you don't need to take a quarterback in every class." Oh, yes, you do.
Oh, yes, you do, bro. You do. Man, you have to.
Kane Zay, you ain't never lied.
Hey, and you know what? Now with the new rules, with the new transfer rules, where these kids could transfer in a conference in ACC. Oh boy, you better have depth out there. Because best believe if somebody's not happy, they can go to any other team in ACC and play immediately. So it's a different world now.
So like I said, CJ done bumped his damn head about.
I mean, like next week around this time, we'll probably get about maybe 2 more of them 2-minute clips, and we'll talk about all the interviews and stuff and go off what they tell us. Hey man, y'all have a good night, man.
All right, y'all be easy, man. Y'all take it easy.
And everybody already know it's all about the you.